Good morning, everybody. It is 7 a.m. on Tuesday, October 24th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 89. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of OTB Mailbag at 8:15, so get your questions in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. And Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football joins the show at 9 a.m. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, they said I gotta come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, everyone? Hope you're having a great day. It is Tuesday, October 24th, 2023. We're rolling right along in the spooky season, a week away from Halloween on the dot. Looking forward to that. Hope everybody's enjoying the holiday season, as now we kind of have a brief respite to catch our breath a little bit from the college football season. T-Bob, Jake, Murray, Taylor all here today. What's up, boys? How we feeling?
I think we got to nail down some costumes today if we're a week out.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, oh, boy.
Well, let's just be lazy and chat. Why don't y'all, on the YouTube live chat here, youtube.com/1045ESPN, why don't y'all help us out and give us suggestions? And then we can make a master list, and we'll choose which one we like best.
Did the kids have their costume yet?
Yeah. When we went to Ghost in the Oaks at City Park Sunday night, they were both costumed up. My daughter's got a full Hogwarts Hermione set that is absolutely adorable, and then my younger one is going as Ariel with complete with a red wig that is over half the size of her. It's incredible. I mean, it is incredibly adorable. So,
what about Quad?
We're bouncing back and forth on Quad. Thought about maybe making him a flounder to go with the younger one. Maybe an owl, like a Hedwig or something, essentially.
An owl. Okay,
yeah.
is that from
No, for Harry Potter.
Okay, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. You know what Harry Potter is? Like a little boy
the
goes to
owl,
school like Hogwarts.
The owl. Well, I've never seen it, so I guess.
No, I know.
But
obviously, if you don't know the owl, you've never seen it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I thought it was because you always if you want to hoot the owls type situation.
No, yeah.
Soar with the Eagles.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to train Bobby to follow in the drunken footsteps of his grandfather and father right away and start teaching him the ways of hooting at night and soaring during the day.
That's right. Got to do it sometime.
You do.
Your dad taught it to you,
And I've been doing it. And that's probably one of the reasons why I end up getting a little sick. Just a little PSA here. If anybody else feels like you're having the flu almost, like body aches, chills, all that, apparently it's going around, but apparently it may not be the flu. I mean, I got tested for flu COVID yesterday. Nothing. So just I guess. No, I do feel better today, though, so I don't know. I think it'll go away in a couple days. But don't be too freaked out like I was and start running crazy with it. All right. Let's get in. Boys, you guys doing okay back there? How you doing?
Doing good, man. NBA opening night tonight. Pumped for that.
Yeah.
So, good vibes.
The penultimate Pelicans day. We'll talk about it a little bit in hour number 3 as the Pels get ready to kick off the season tomorrow.
I'm doing good as well. Putting the finishing touches on me and my wife's Halloween costume this week. So
what is it?
I don't know if someone's listening.
Oh, yeah.
It's a Halloween
I forgot.
costume
Yeah.
contest.
Taylor takes his family has that contest, and he takes a lot of pride.
I've won 3 years in a row. So.
Oh, wow. Okay,
Well,
what were the 3 winning
look,
costumes?
So I did Joe Exotic and Carol Baskin one year.
Okay.
We did Joe Biden, and my wife was a nurse. She was my nurse. And then
politically charged, but, yes.
And then last year was great. Y'all love this. I was Gordon McKernan.
Yeah, I do like this.
She was an 18-wheeler.
I do actually like this.
It was
Were
nice.
her boobs the headlights?
No, but she did make like a box, like an 18-wheeler style box.
Hey, can't make jokes about other people's wives. Remember?
Yeah, that's right.
No,
That's
but there
a
were
cause
there were
everybody
headlights
turn
on the
I
box
forgot.
though, for sure.
All right. Wait, Jake, what are your kids doing for Halloween? What are y'all going to dress up as? Is Huddy going to be Pat Mahomes again?
You know what? Their grandparents took them to get costumes. I was doing radio. I have no idea.
Okay, cool. Go right on.
Yeah, we'll find out. Knox, whatever it is for Knox, it will be elaborate.
Yeah, he's like me. He's the nerd. Nerds tend to like to dress up, cosplay, all that sort of stuff. You got to cobble together some sort of Hagrid costume coming up.
I got faith in you.
Yeah. I mean, get a big leather duster and like a big fake beard and hair, and you're kind of pretty much all the way home with Hagrid. So
yeah, because one has a leather duster hanging around the house.
No, but one, if you have a badass leather duster, I feel like you're going to get multiple uses out of that. Like leather dusters work in a lot of different costumes, right? Like you want to be like a cowboy gunslinger, throw on a leather duster.
Yeah.
You want to be like a hard-boiled detective, or like maybe like a Sherlock Holmes, throw on a leather duster, right? Like it's actually a very versatile yet nonsensical piece of clothing here in Louisiana, where maybe it's cold enough to wear the leather duster 2 days out of the year.
Look, whenever you bought your wizard costume, I'm sure there was some out there that said, why are you doing this? You're never going to recoup the money that you spent on this. And you said, hold my beer.
I know. I've worn that thing 20 to 30 times. Also, and that was incredibly well priced. That was just a woman off of Etsy who you send her your measurements, and she basically makes the costume out of bed sheets, and she freaking kills it.
Now, when you sent her your measurements, did you give her, hey, one leg's a little bit longer than the other?
No, okay. I did not. But still, the robe is perfect length. It hangs right above
Looks
the ground.
great on you.
It doesn't trip me up. I love it. It's like my favorite costume I've ever had, hands down. And with Renaissance Fest once again on the horizon, and a return to the kingdom of Albright in my very near future, we will again be rocking the costume. All right. That's enough little general life Halloween talk. Hope everybody's having a great day. Right now, it's time to talk about sports. Yeah, boys, it means it's time for our opening salvo, brought to you by Skull Axe. Again, if you love axe, you love Skull Axe. Right there off of Lee. It's right by Mike Anderson's. Just opened up gcaxe.com. gcaxe.com. Use the promo code EARLYBIRD. You save 20%. So girls' night, boys' night, office team bonding, solo axe. You just want beer, food, axes. You want Skull. It's right there. It's awesome. Now, it's a bye week for your LSU Tigers. A time to exhale. A time to catch your breath. And now, knowing what we know about Jaden Daniels' work ethic, probably time for him to start watching film and start seeing to try to gain advantages against Alabama. And we can talk about the bye week, Jake, and maybe how you feel about it. Is it good for LSU? Is it bad for LSU? I know they're in a rhythm, but I don't think it's a rhythm created by accident, right? Like, I don't. Again, all the success the LSU offense is having is a direct result of just old school hard work, right? Just elbow grease and hard work, and some things timing up nicely in terms of the ages of guys, the experience levels of guys. But obviously everybody's bought in. They're working their ass off. So what I'm saying is it's not like they're just riding some sort of lucky streak. And if LSU's offense comes out in 2 weeks and looks maybe more mortal than they have here recently, I'm not going to say, oh, it was the bye week. I'm going to be like, well, no, that's a very good defense, right? And so, like, it is going to be a bit thing where maybe it's not as overwhelmingly good, but I guess what I'm getting at, it's all much ado about, I think the bye week's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. I think you get a chance to get healthy. I know in baseball, this has been a recent topic of debate, but I think that's kind of a difference in the two sports. You're so used to being in that everyday flow of baseball, whereas, I don't know, when you were a player, I mean, actually, I think you've been on the other side of this, but when I was a player, I don't feel like the bye week ever really screwed anything up for us. I always felt like it was just a great chance to kind of get healthy and get right for because, I mean, it's friendly timed. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got 3 really big SEC games left. You've been through a lot of battles here. 8 weeks, right, to this point? What are you, 6-2? 8 weeks? That's a long time, 2 months. It's actually kind of a perfect bye. You go through 2 months, you get a week off, and then you finish that last month of the season. So if you are Mekhi Wingo, who's been playing hurt all year, or any of these other guys, you get fully healthy, and then you're juiced up and ready to go.
So, everybody's got a different situation, and I think because you have a bye week before this game every single year, it's a little bit different. I mean that like in a good way.
Yeah.
Like you know that it's coming, you expect it to come, you've had it for so long. They've had their bye week as well, and for a long time it was a big disadvantage, I feel like, for LSU, right? You got outcoached a lot of times coming out of that bye week.
Yeah.
And so, last year that was big for the momentum of this game, and yeah, I've been on the other side of it, but this LSU team does feel like they need to get a couple of guys healthy, certainly on the defensive side, at least give them the opportunity to be healthy. And so, it's coming. It happens every single year. You always come off a bye just like they do. And then it comes down to how do you prepare? How do you prepare for that game? Because, look, they're hot too. You're not the only hot team. Like, you're both playing really, really well. After Texas, they've rallied off. What was it, 5-4 victory, whatever?
Yeah, you're right. That streak goes both ways.
Yeah,
they've increasingly gotten better also.
So if they were struggling, if they had some injuries, they needed, to kind of get this bye week too. But it's a situation where you're both playing really well. So I'm not going to take too much of a look at this because I think for both teams it comes at a good time for them. There's a couple of banged up bodies for Alabama as well. So this is a chance to get into the film room, dive into it. Certainly, we mentioned the Jaden Daniels story and what he was doing, and they had to kind of change the hours of the building because he was in there so much. I would assume he's going to be more the same this week, and this is going to be an important week. This is not an Alabama team that's going to be kind of the ones that we talk about, like, okay, well, hey, Arkansas, what are they? Well, 47% of the time they're a cover one team, or whoever it is, we're like, 46% of the time you're going to expect this one coverage. I'll give you an idea of what I'm talking about, all right? Cover one, 23.6%. They go cover 3, 23.2%. They go quarters, 20.3% of the time. They go 3-seam, 15.7% of the time. So multiple looks.
Daniels' film study going to be put to the test here, trying to identify what he's looking at.
Yeah, this is not one of those teams where says, hey, here's who we are, here's what we're going to do, and we dare you to beat us. No, they're going to switch it up on you. And some of those coverages are very similar, right? Some of them are. I mean, 3 and quarters, some on 3 deep safeties, 4 deep safeties, 3-seam, obviously is a version of cover 3, but still it's a different look. In cover 1, playing that 23.6% of the time. That's when they want to be aggressive. And so when you have this much to study for, prepare for, and you have a veteran quarterback who we've already talked about his study habits and what he's done to put himself into this position, yes, I do think it comes at a good time.
Well, and you would be, if you just want to do a little thought exercise, imagine if Alabama was on a bye and you were not, how you would feel about it. Mm-hmm. You'd probably be in your feelings a bit. You'd be a little salty. You'd be like, oh, what, they get to rest and study and get healthy and watch us and we don't. So, I think it's a good call. All right. When we get back, I want to do a very surface level look at the game. I still want to talk about Chris Olave in the news. Nick Underhill's coming on at 9, but I want to discuss a piece that he released about where he looked at all of the third downs from last Thursday. And, ooh, boys, it paints just a disastrous picture of that Saints offense right now. So we'll get to that as well. Again, get your costume suggestions at youtube.com/1045 ESPN, and we'll be back with more Off the Bench next.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Community Steel Company, CommunitySteelCo.com is the website, brand new website. Make sure you go check it out. It's great. Or just go and see them in Gonzales because they are local and they are disrupting the steel market. Word on the street is, Jake, but a couple of the old heads, a couple of these national guys, a little upset. The Community Steel serving their customers so well, giving them such good prices. Well, guess what, national guys? You can suck it, okay? Because for all your purlin, tubing, and steel building needs, you want Community Steel right there in Gonzales, live and local sales team. They buy straight from the wholesaler, make the product on site. Nobody jacking up the price for you on the back end. Community Steel Company.
Yeah, like straight up DX. We got 2 words for you type situation. Go to CommunitySteelCo.com and right there on the homepage.
You got to enunciate that DX. That's how it kind of rolled it together.
What?
I'm
lost now.
CommunitySteelCo.com, CommunitySteelCo.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch on Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call
Join us for the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch. We are at Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. Andy Isco will join us from Las Vegas. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Tanning, y'all. Welcome back. OTB. Brandon Sims, Bama's banged up as well. To be honest, aren't they good this year? LSU's a strong chance. They just can't turn the ball over. Well, I mean, you never want to turn the ball over in any big game. Obviously, that's how you lose. No, look, Bama is beatable for sure this year. I mean, well, not just beatable. This is the most beatable that Alabama has been in a very long time. I think, though, it's kind of interesting, Jake, when you start to score it here at the onset. It's a game of strength on strength and weakness on weakness, right? How do you evaluate this though? Because I could kind of go either way, right? my instinct is to say that your weakness is much more glaring than theirs. But at the same time, your strength is much stronger than theirs, right? Like Alabama's defense is really good. Don't get me wrong. I think they might be second in scoring in the SEC. They're like third in total yards. I want to say they lead in sacks, second or third in TFLs. So a very good defense, but not an otherworldly defense, whereas I would describe LSU's offense as otherworldly right now. And Alabama's offense is bad. They rank near the bottom of everything, but Jalen Milroe is still the second highest rated passer in the SEC. He does make a lot of explosive plays, and they're not otherworldly bad like LSU's defense has been otherworldly bad. So in this battle of strength and weakness on weakness, how do you score it? Is LSU's weakness larger than the margin between the two strengths?
Yeah, and it's a fair question. When you look, you're right, defensive leaders, second in points per game, only behind Georgia. Georgia gives up 14. Alabama gives up 16 and a half. As far as yards allowed, Alabama comes in at number 3 behind UGA and Texas A&M. They are tied for first with sacks against Texas A&M.
Yeah, well, A&M, look, we can get to A&M. A&M's actually having a legendary defensive year that they are completely wasting on a 500 team.
Yes, they are. It's going to be a defense that is getting better. Now, I will say this, like the defense for Alabama, when they faced a high-powered offense in Texas, they did not fare well. They gave up 34 points in that one. Look at some of the other offenses they faced. Outside of Ole Miss, they did a fantastic job. But Mississippi State, Texas A&M, Arkansas, Tennessee, all struggling offenses. And I'm not going to take a lot from Middle Tennessee State or South Florida either. But those are offenses that aren't good.
They haven't faced anybody in the same realm as what Jaden Company's bringing to bear, maybe except for Ole Miss. But again, Ole Miss offensive line is not good. That was more about LSU's defensive line being awful.
Ole Miss was out some of their receivers in that game as well. They got them back for the LSU game. So this will by far be the best offense that Alabama faces, because Ole Miss, who's a very good offense, didn't have all their weapons at the time. And so, that's something else to pay attention to when you kind of start to match up, these different stats and different things that are going in LSU's favor and Alabama's favor. So, for me, it's really it's the story. It's Alabama's offense, LSU's defense. Alabama's offense has struggled at times, but they have found some of the things that they enjoy going to, like a Jermaine Burton.
Yeah.
Jermaine Burton is he is a front-running player. That is who he is. If you allow him, and there's nothing wrong with that, but that's who he is. And I've played with him. T-Ball's played with players. When they're going well, it's at another level. Now, sometimes they can disappear, and, that's troublesome. But I say front-runner because if he gets going, that only fuels him more and more and more. He plays off that. And so this is a player that you have to contain, because the last couple of weeks he has been feeling himself. He has gone out there and played like a true number one, and they were searching for a number one. They didn't really have one. So those are the type of players in this offense, because when you play LSU's offense, it's going to be Neighbors. It's going to be Thomas. What you're getting into. For Alabama's offense, it's been different guys at different times, but right now it feels like Burton's the one guy that I would say LSU needs to make sure they contain.
Well, to me, Burton's the one guy. McClellan's been fine, and I want to say they only threw it 7 times in the second half last week. They definitely started to take over on the ground last week against Tennessee. But
27 carries for McClellan, I think.
Yeah, so McClellan's been pretty solid, but it does feel like everything starts with Jermaine Burton. And that's potentially a bit of a problem, given that I don't know what form your secondary is going to be in going into this game, as I'm very interested to see what Brian Kelly says about Zy Alexander. It's tonight, right, Taylor? The only availability, I believe, is going to be Brian Kelly night. We didn't have any yesterday.
Yeah, he'll be 5 o'clock today. He's not even doing coach's show this week.
Yeah.
It's just a press conference today.
So I want to see what he says about Zy Alexander, because after the game, the freshman corner's answer was pretty telling, where he was talking about playing Toviano and why am I blanking on the other one's name?
Jeremiah Hughes.
Thank you, Jeremiah Hughes. Yeah. And he was saying, look, they're good, but he kept falling back on this. But, it's freshman corners. And that's where we're at. We have freshman corners. And if Jermaine Burton is Alabama's best path to kickstarting that offense, and Jalen Milroe's strongest ability this year has been making big plays to Jermaine Burton, that's not a matchup that I love.
Let's call it like it is. When you have freshman corners, you don't have a lot of depth. it's going to be multiple matchups for the rest of this season. It's not just going to be Bond and Burton there for Alabama, and that's what's going to be, it's going to be difficult. Let's call it like it is for this coaching staff to come up with a plan where they feel like, okay, well, here's where we can cover some things up. Because this defense, like you can't, rob Peter to pay Paul. Like you have to pay attention to all levels. Like sometimes when you have a level that's going so well, it's like, hey, the guys in the middle, I think they can help out in coverage a little bit because we're so solid there. Like right now, you're still trying to figure out what is what. To some extent on the defense, it's been better, but I don't know where that help's going to come from. And that's on the coaching staff to figure out a game plan to create that help that they needed. Hey, and maybe sometimes help doesn't mean be passive. Sometimes help can be, hey, you know what? These freshman corners, they're not great in zone. You know what they're good at? They're good in man because that's what they've done their whole life because they've been the best player out there, and it's more of an aggressive approach. But maybe you feel better about that approach because that's what they do well.
I think that, yeah, it kind of feels like your best bet is just going to have to maybe outscore them. I'm not saying they're going to put up a ton of points, but I do think Alabama's offense is going to have success here. Big Slim 225 says Perkins will be the X factor. Put Bama's quarterback on the ground. Jake, I don't know if you agree. This is going to sound crazy. I almost feel like the pass rush is irrelevant this game because Jalen Milroe has been getting sacked constantly.
Yeah.
I mean, Alabama's the worst in the league allowing sacks. He holds onto the ball. He's constantly waiting for the big play. He's been getting sacked every single game, and it doesn't matter because eventually he finds a way to bust through, and that Alabama defense holds serve. So it's like, I feel you in 99.9% of games, I'm with you. You get to the quarterback, oh, man, you're going to win. But first off, LSU's not that good at getting to the quarterback. They ain't like Tennessee, who led the conference and was kicking their ass last week, only until it didn't matter. And then I go back to the stat that I read last week. I haven't seen the updated numbers post-Tennessee, but going into the Tennessee game, Jalen Milroe was carrying an NFL quarterback rating of 125 when pressured. So, like, he had done a very...
there.
Yeah, exactly. So it sounds really dumb, but, like, if I look at the key inflection points of the game, getting after Milroe actually is not necessarily one of them for me.
I mean, he's in and not Ty Simpson or someone else because he does a good job of getting away from a rush and creating time enough to be able to make a play downfield. Go back to the South Florida game. Ty Simpson was in there. He was like a statue. I mean, he was getting just mauled by these edge rushers because they knew the spot. They knew the point. The point didn't change. They knew exactly where they had to rush to. It's like when you go in training camp and you're rushing 101s and you got the bag that you swipe by and you hit. That's what Ty Simpson was because that's what kind of passer he is. That's not Jalen Milroe. And so if you have issues protecting, well, you'd rather have him in there than someone else. And so it is an interesting thought. I mean, you look at what LSU's done defensively, and we'll get some of maybe the blitz numbers here coming up in the next break. But, like, as far as a coverage unit, I mean, they're going even deeper into who they are. They've run quarters 39% of the time. That's cover 4. And the last 3 games, they've run quarters 47% of the time.
Damn.
47% quarters, 33% cover 3. I mean, so that's who they are. That's where they're going to live. Now, what do the pressure numbers look like? I have to go back and see where it is for the year compared to where it is over the last couple of weeks because those numbers going up. Remember, we've talked about it's been 10 pretty good quarters of defense for LSU. Well, I was expecting, okay, let's see how much they've changed it up. They've actually gone more of what they've done all season long, which is play cover 3, play quarters, and maybe they're just finally getting to a point where they actually know the zones. They get to the zones. They don't float in coverage. They don't just kind of figure out, maybe if I'm in somewhat the area. No, the area is the area.
Yeah.
And they've done a better job of that.
The assignment football's been much better as we talk about the discipline, everything, not trying to do too much, just focusing on doing your job. The run fits from guys like Andre Sam were especially improved this last week, but you are talking about a different beast with what some of the players that Alabama's bringing to bear. Well, not that a Mizzou, I guess, but post Mizzou, certainly. I mean, Auburn's nothing offensively, and Army was starting a freshman quarterback that had never started before, so quite a difference. But again, right, the whole, like, it's weakness on weakness, strength on strength, which disparity will be bigger because, like Jake pointed out earlier, Alabama hasn't faced anything close to what you're bringing to bear offensively with Diggs and Neighbors and Thomas and Daniels and that offensive line that I just continue to fall in love with more and more each and every week. So it's going to be a fun 2 weeks, man. Starting to hype up this game, continuing to break it down. I'm still waiting on the new stop rate numbers to be dropped from The Athletic. It should be sometime this morning. I'm hoping during the show so we can get to it, but we will see. All right, when we get back, let's talk a little New Orleans Saints as not so good news in the news last night, and we just need to talk about the train wreck that is the Saints offense right now. More to come here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Get Gordon and get it done. 225-888-8888. Gordon McKernan, injury attorneys. You need somebody who's going to fight for you. You need Gordon. Go look at the giant anthropomorphic billboard in which is a statue of Gordon, and now he has a giant pumpkin head. Which, again, I wonder what happens to the pumpkin head afterwards because it looks well made. It's massive. Probably fit 2 to 3 people in that head. So, Gordon, if you want to let me know, that'd be great. But that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is if you get in an accident, you need somebody who's going to fight for you. You want to get Gordon, get it done. Follow him on social media at Get Gordon. You can see up to, all the great content, the deals, all your favorite members of the G team. Get Gordon, get it done.
GetGordon.com is the website. So if you can't get to the phone for whatever reason, remember you can always do everything right there on the site. You can have a chat with them. You can check out past client results, cases they can handle for you. T-Bob gave you the handle on all major social media at Get Gordon. But remember, you can pick up the phone in Louisiana. Doesn't matter where you're at. Area code followed by 888-8888. Get Gordon and get it done.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Here at Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, we have in stock 2023 Toyota Tundras, and you can get 1,000 special edition bonus cash, $1,000 bonus cash. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
Life in Louisiana is like a run-on sentence. A poem that doesn't rhyme. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
It was a humid day, barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you.
This Sunday, we bring you a trio of NFL games. We start with the noon kickoff, the Rams at Cowboys. Immediately following that, it's the Bengals and 49ers. And then our night game, the Bears and Chargers. Tune in to catch all those games here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. Go TB. Got Dayton Bergeron in the chat after murdering me live on Whiskey and Wine this weekend. Well, actually spared my life, thankfully. Okay, we will talk about this as well. There's a lot of five-star chatter as On3 released an image with all the 5 stars and where they're committed, and many LSU fans disconcerted that there's not an LSU Tiger in sight. Hey, you know who's got the number 2 player overall, though? Drinkwitz and Mizzou. How about that?
Oh, yeah. You don't remember the video when he committed?
Oh, dude. Oh, yeah. Is that the one where Drink's like freaking out like all?
And I believe he leapt into a coach's arms.
Oh, okay.
Like
hell yeah.
Fully, full body jumped into it.
Also, a lot of Florida on that list, which showing that the Gator Collective remains very strong. But we can get into that. You know, LSU's not actually that good with 5 stars, so maybe if we wanted the sunshine pump, but we'll see.
I'll take myself out of that conversation.
Well, it's yeah. Well, it is a nuanced conversation, which is why it's probably interesting. Also, LSU did get a big 4-star defensive back out of Mississippi, PJ Woodland. Excuse me, is he in Mississippi, Taylor? PJ Woodland? Yeah, I know he's committed to Mississippi State. Can you imagine how good it feels to flip your commitment from this version of Mississippi State to LSU? I mean, I'm not saying the Tigers are the best, but Mississippi State is in complete shambles right now. Like, Zach Arnett's got to go. They're awful defensively, which is, again, why Danny Nuss got fired.
Yeah, so he's from Mississippi, and that's a big deal because if you guys go look at recruiting rankings over the years, Mississippi players do not, for whatever reason, they do not leave the state of Mississippi. I mean, all the big-time recruits. I mean, it was a big deal when LSU got Ray Darius Jones a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. And then his teammate, Nakobe Dean, went to Georgia, and, all the Mississippi State fans were, mad at that coach. They're like, how could you let both of your players leave the state of Mississippi? It's just something that doesn't happen for whatever reason. So this is a big get.
Let's talk about the New Orleans Saints. Chris Olave was arrested yesterday, going 35 miles an hour over the speed limit. 70 and a 35, which if you're going to go 35 over, that's generally, I feel like, when it happens, kind of used to going 70 on the interstate and whatnot, get a little impatient, a little aggressive to be sure. But it happens. What I think is interesting about this is not some sort of moral or, what is he doing? Should he be smarter? Sure, whatever. But to me, it just comes at a time when there's already a ton of drama surrounding Olave and surrounding the Saints offense, and it can't help now that you're going to be dealing with even more drama on this front. And when you look at this Saints offense right now, it is pretty damning. Again, if you're a New Orleans on Football subscriber, you can check this out. If not, maybe do a trial or pay for a month, see if you like it. But there's a really good breakdown of all the third downs, Jake. And it is a disaster. And I know we keep making this surface level, but I think after watching further, it is the performance against the Jaguars, maybe barring against a couple of those late drives, is a disaster akin to what you witnessed defensively against Ole Miss. The 1 of 16 on third down is just, it's not normal. It's not normal. Remember, Cat Terrell had this from ESPN Stats and Info. Derek Carr attempted 14 passes on third down. Only one of them went for a first down. He is the first QB over the last 25 seasons to attempt at least 14 passes on third down and only gain one or fewer first down. So, again, a quarter of a century, y'all. 25 years. I'm 34. So what you witnessed last Thursday was actually something that hasn't been done basically our entire lives, Jake.
Yeah.
So, again, this is outlier bad. And then Nick dove into the film, and, and it's just everything. But it mainly does center around Derek Carr. There's some route miscommunication at times, but it's mainly just Carr just not making his reads.
Yeah.
He's not going through the progression, and he's just checking it down as soon as he hits his back foot.
Yeah, remember when people thought, like, hey, I'm going to come up here and I'm going to tell you about all the quarterbacks that the Saints get to play. Not have to play, get to play. And they miss all these marquee quarterbacks. They get rookie quarterback after rookie quarterback, and a lot of people are, like, laughing and thinking, oh, that's going to be great. Those teams do that to you. Those teams laugh that they get to face Derek Carr right now because the stats that T-Bob is rolling off there, those are egregiously bad. Those are things that happen when you have a rookie quarterback, right? When you go 1 for 16 on third down and you don't make competitive throws.
Yeah,
those
true.
are rookie quarterbacks.
That's rookie quarterback
Well,
energy
this is a quarterback that started for a decade in the league. Like, this is a quarterback that you gave a lot of money to, so you didn't have the situation that you have this year. We're talking about, like, our lifetime bad type stats. That's not good. That is not winning football. And then, like, to go watch the tape and to see how quickly the ball's coming out of his hands to, like, check downs and routes that shouldn't be first in the progression. I don't know, T-Bob.
And guys are open.
Yes, and I don't know how that happens. How do you know as much football? Because Derek Carr knows football. Like, I believe that. But how do you not get that done? Like, if a cover 2 situation says, here's the progression, why do you go away from the progression? Are you forcing it? Are you trying to do too much? That's also the behavior of what? A rookie quarterback.
Yeah, and I think so when you have a veteran doing these things, then I do think that also the coaching staff has to bear some culpability. And it's funny because during the offseason, so much was made of bringing John Gruden in and being like, okay, you know, where you had success with Carr, what does he like to do? What doesn't he like to do? Well, then why do they keep running fades? Because right now, Jake, Derek Carr has a 47 quarterback rating on fades. Only Kirk Cousins, Danny Dimes, and Jameis Winston are worse over that 5-year period at throwing fades. Now,
so 2 of the quarterbacks on your roster.
Yeah, right. What's especially damning about Pete Carmichael here, though, Jake, those other quarterbacks I just mentioned haven't run a fade in 2 years.
Because they know.
Yeah, because they know. Not only does the route suck, like all of football's waking up to it, kind of sucks. Unless you're in college and you just have a receiver that's like clearly just like if you had A.J. Green out there, sure, I'll throw A.J. Green a fade in college. You know, I got no problem with that. But in the NFL, it's just kind of a crappy route. And even with them scoring on 1 to a touchdown and Mike Thomas, they continue to try to throw it, and it's just awful. Again, these other quarterbacks that are just as bad as Carr haven't thrown one in 2 years. And you just insist I'll continue to run it. And to me, Jake, when you combine it with the fact that he's not reading defenses, it comes off as lazy. Because what are fades? They're easy reads. Like, you don't have to think. You already know where you're going with the ball, and if the pre-snap alignment looks good to you, you're just, okay, no brain power, just go there and throw it. And it's lazy, and it's bad, and it's indicative of what's the problem with the offense as a whole right now.
Yeah, certainly the one in the game was one that we'll remember for a long time and not for a good reason. And Raynard asks, wondering if his shoulder injury is worse than the Saints claim it to be.
Oh, that's true.
If that's the case, also, like, it's the reads too. It's not just the throws.
Sure.
It's the reads. It's throws that I still think he can make, even if he did have the shoulder injury that he has. And so you still got to go through your progression. And if that is the case, why are you playing him?
Yeah, sure.
You pay Jameis Winston a lot of money to be your backup quarterback, right? You drafted Jake Haener to be a 4th-round pick. Like, it's not nothing. It's not a flyer. A 4th-round pick is still something of value that a lot of teams consider starter level, okay? And you got him back now. So if he's hurt and he can't go through his progression, he can't make the throws, that's on you, right? You kept Jameis here another year. If he can't go out there and be a healthy quarterback that can make all the throws in a route tree and he can only be a check down Charlie, then that's on you for putting him out there and putting him in that situation.
Agreed. Again, though, to your point, it is, I mean, I'm sure that's not helping anything, but it doesn't excuse the fact that he's not going through his progressions, because that is mental, not physical. But I'm with you. I mean, if he can't go play Jameis. Also, I need a little less. I mean, I don't want, and now I guess you could accuse me of nitpicking, but when things are this bad, that's tend to what we do. I need a little less Carr getting mad and a little more Carr getting good. Like, you are at the center of the vortex of bad here. Getting mad at everyone else is doing you no favors. Now, don't get me wrong, the offensive line is probably a lot of the original evil here, speeding up his clock and making him so scared and hitting his back foot, but you get paid a lot of money to not be scared and to overcome that and still go through those progressions. And don't get me wrong, I don't think Pete Carmichael and his offense is doing a great job of using modern concepts and putting him in good positions. But again, I don't think that calling out your receivers or your OC or looking kind of petulant is helping at all in this situation, especially when there appears to be some cracks and some drama starting to coalesce around this team. So offensively, it's a disaster right now. Can they get it fixed? I mean, what is it, week 8? Right? We're going into week 8. That doesn't make me feel good. It's a lot of sample size in which you've just gotten worse over time. But it's the NFL. And sometimes I guess you catch fire. We will see what ends up happening with this New Orleans Saints team. But here on October 24th, it does not feel very good.
Yeah, and you got a stretch where you got at Colts, Bears, at Vikings. Now, I don't think the Colts and Vikings are bad teams. Their records, certainly for the Vikings, they get a win against San Fran last night. I think they're better than their record, but you got to take advantage of it, because then you got, at the Falcons, you got Detroit at home. Those aren't going to be easy games. And then you come back and you do, have a stretch where it's the Panthers and the Giants. And so you've got a couple of different waves, but you got to start to create some momentum here. Like, you got to win these games that you're supposed to win, or on paper we would think you have an opportunity to win, because like, you start looking at the division and it's still there for the taking, but you got to start playing better, because you're only one game back right now, but you have a bulk of your division games. Like, you still got to play the Falcons twice. You still got to play the Panthers. You still got to play the Bucks. You got to start winning some games, because you don't want a Falcons team to start to pull away from you.
Coming up next here on OTB, let's wrap up hour number 1. Keep it locked, 104.5 ESPN.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com. The website's a great resource to start your car buying journey, whether you're looking to buy new, used, Toyota certified used vehicle, or you still get that excellent warranty coverage, or maybe you just need a lease. Whatever you need, the one-stop shop with the best prices, with the best selection and the best customer service, the most customizability is all there right off of Airline Highway. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.
Once you go to the website, depending on what you're looking to do, like, you can kind of do it all. If you want to lease, you can find that information there. If you want to rent, you can find that information there. The per-day rental prices that we talk about every single day and what's available, and talking about reserving that vehicle for your trip, whatever you have coming up. Also, you can build your new Toyota. Remember, you can add and take away. It is your Toyota, so whatever you want it to look like. If you want the murdered out Mini, the black on black like T-Bob, that option is certainly available to you. So go to the website today, start designing your Toyota, All-Star Toyota of BatonRouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach.
Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Sharif Ishak on the Saints, Glenn West on the Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
You look like an angel, walk like an angel, talk like an angel, but I got wise. You're the devil in disguise, oh yes you are, devil in disguise. You fool me with your kisses, you cheated and you schemed.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Shane Coon says, Saints are a dumpster fire. That's what Serial Snuggler says. That's disrespectful to dumpster fires. There was a literal dumpster fire in New Orleans yesterday. Did y'all see that?
I did not.
Around social media. On a serious note, prayers, obviously, for everyone involved in that horrific pileup on I-55. Just absolutely awful, kind of mind-boggling. The loss of life, the toll, the amount of vehicles involved, and again, just positive thoughts, energy, prayers. Whoever you pray to whoever for anyone involved or affected by that just horrific accident. Gulf South says, Olave just ain't having a good time with cars this week, huh? Versus QB now getting ready. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I see.
There's also a joke to be made about Olave. This is the speed that they wanted.
Okay.
No, I was thinking that earlier. I was like, if he'd have went that fast on his route, maybe it would have been completed.
Which again, though, let's be clear. I mean, good jokes. Those are good jokes. But let's and also Chris Olave's brother tweeted that he was just come back from CVS. I find that all to be very believable. There's no hint that he was under the influence or anything. In fact, I'm kind of surprised the police didn't let him off with a warning. I mean, there are a bunch of people in chat talking about how they've gotten pulled over in that same space.
Kenner PD. If the Saints were winning, he'd have been let off.
Kenner
Right,
PD,
exactly,
bro.
right.
Of course, they didn't let him go.
So whatever, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Hey,
Or not with a warning, but with like, you don't have to arrest the person. You can if you're going 30 over. You don't have to.
Yeah. The NFL trade deadline, October 31st. Just see if Andy Dalton's still available.
Yeah. Sometimes to go forward, you got to go back.
Go
right?
back. I mean, look at the stats.
It's kind of dumb, but I'm still just like, I mean, whatever. I would love it if they would just give Jameis another opportunity.
I would rather Jameis and Dalton too.
Everybody likes Jameis more on the team anyway.
See, here's where y'all's problem.
Not the Dalton. I'm talking about the car.
But no, here's
I just don't want to trade for
listen,
Dalton.
hold on. Here's the problem. Like, you continue to say that over and over again, and like the stat that T-Bob just gave you, Like it ain't it, and I don't know why.
Don't throw fades.
But it's just multiple things. Like, and it's the same thing. Like getting enamored with. Well, but he could do this instead of what someone actually does.
Because the last time that we saw the Saints be good,
like y'all said, y'all would take Winston over Kirk Cousins last year.
Still. Always and forever.
That's the dumbest take y'all had.
I like Kirk Thuggins, but
that was wrong. But I'd still rather him than Dalton.
You might want him because he's cooler, but he's not a better quarterback.
Yeah, but I never seen Kirk dance with the ACL in the locker room. You know what I'm
saying?
saying?
Never seen Jameis dance with all the chains in the plane.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Counter a good riposte. Nice job. No, look, I'm kind of half kidding. It's just that Carr seems to not only be playing awful, but also like seems to have deteriorating relationships. And so it's like, whatever, at least the guys like James. But it's not going to fix it. I think what it is, Jake, is the last time the Saints were good was that 5-2 start when he was at the helm. And so people we're just kind of grasping onto that as some sort of fading image.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
RejuveMeMedical.com. Yeah, exactly. Golf Style's probably right, too. James Love equals Nuss Plus Love. Everybody loves a backup. What's the old saying? The backup quarterback's always the most popular guy in the city. It just is what it is, unfortunately. Go to Rejuve Me Medical. Restore me, refuel me, rejuve me. Your boy Kirko looked pretty rejuvenated last night without Jets leading a win over the Niners. Huh? Rejuve Me Medical. Look, whether it's andropause, menopause, you got some random weight gain going on, 20, 30, 40, 50, male, female, doesn't matter. They treat a variety of aging problems in a variety of different ways. So go get your labs drawn, get the consultation. My wife's going through that process right now. It's been great. She has her consultation today to review the results and get to where you want to be with Rejuve Me Medical.
Go to the website, RejuveMeMedical.com. Once you go to the site, we always encourage you to get that consultation set up because you're probably dealing with something. If you're going to the website, they're going to help you get to the bottom of it, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Life in Louisiana is a song. A symphony of sound, colors, and movement. Life is here, now. For life's moments, big and small, always there. The right card, the right care.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared toward seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Good morning, everybody. It is 8 a.m. on Tuesday, October 24th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 89. Coming up on OTB, we have a new edition of OTB Mailbag in the second segment this hour, so get your questions in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. And Nick Underhill of NewOrleans.football joins the show at 9 a.m. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 104.5 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, Peter said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, T-Bob, Jake, Bird, Taylor hanging out. You got OTB Mailbag coming up next. I want to have a big, long mailbag today. So go ahead and put all your questions in the chat, and we'll get to them. Dylan Hass 63 says next week should decide both divisions, LSU, Bama, and Mizzou, Georgia. True. Do we think that Mizzou actually has a shot against Georgia? I think that Georgia's rush defense has been questionable at times this year. Cody Schrader's had been one of the more consistent performers. Like I actually love Mizzou's
over
team.
800 yards now, right?
Yeah,
for Schrader.
Yeah, I love Mizzou's team. I mean, they got a good O-line.
Honestly,
good back, good weapons.
I know every year's different, but last year's game continues to pop into my mind. And it was in Como. I realized that, but it's like, okay, like what kind of matchup was it for him?
This is where I get concerned, Jake, is that last year's game pops into my head in the opposite way, where I'm like, it kind of feels like maybe they wasted their upset nut last season. Where
I mean, I don't think you.
I know. No. Again, this is not logical. To be clear, like this is not logical. Every game exists independently of one another. I get that, but if we just look at how the flow of these things feels sometimes or seem to work over time, it's like last year Georgia's entered that game. They ain't thinking twice about Mizzou. You know, like,
and they struggled in that game.
No, that's what
I'm
I mean.
saying.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because,
I mean, Georgia led for like 52 minutes.
Yeah, no.
I think
this is not. Exaggeration. Mizzou should have won the game. It's not opinion. Like Mizzou should have. They blew it at the end. But my problem is when you combine the fact that it was such a scare for that team last year, the game's now in Athens, and Mizzou's actually legitimately good this year, and so Georgia's going to be hyper locked in. I get a little. That's where I become a little concerned for the Tigers trying to upset the Bulldogs second year in a row.
Yeah, I mean, certainly they will be focused knowing what happened to them a year ago and knowing also that Mizzou is the team that they are, which is a good football team. And Kirby does as good of a job as anybody at getting his team focused and motivated and all the things that you're saying. And the game being in Athens, that certainly helps as well because they don't play road games.
I just don't get it. Ole Miss, where's that game? In Athens. I just don't get it.
They do go on the road to Tennessee, maybe the first road trip of the year.
Tight. Sure, Joe Milton's going to be able to crack the Georgia defense wide open. God, Tennessee started that game against Alabama so good and then just completely fell apart.
Right down their leg.
Yeah.
T-Bob, it was one of those games where it's like, I was sitting in Tiger Stadium waiting for LSU to start, and everybody's like, oh, look, Tennessee's going to beat Alabama. And I just sat there, and I looked over at my dad, and I'm like, Joe Milton's about to do it. watch, Joe Milton's going to fall apart. And then they freaking score like 30 unanswered points. And I was like, you knew it was coming. Joe Milton just can't get it done, guys.
I'm a college football sicko, and I'm sitting there thinking, like, you know what? LSU doesn't play Tennessee. They play Alabama. And LSU, if they want the 2007 like chaotic energy way to try to find a way to do something, like they kind of need big wins. So let Alabama win. I don't care.
Yeah. No, I actually, I see what you're saying. I think I'm inclined to agree with that. It's also like, so we talked about if you beat Alabama and Ole Miss would somehow win out, which would require going into Athens and coming out of the win. Don't think it's going to happen, but it could.
Yeah.
Let's say you end up with that mythical three-way tie, the rock, paper, scissors triumvirate where Alabama beat Ole Miss beat you, and you beat Alabama. The tiebreaker becomes the winning percentage of your Eastern opponents.
Yeah.
So Ole Miss would have Vanderbilt, who's likely going to finish 0-8, and then Georgia, who in this scenario would be 7-1.
Yeah.
So it'd be right under 500. Alabama has Tennessee and who? No, LSU has Florida and Mizzou.
LSU has Florida and Mizzou.
So you want to be cheering for Mizzou, and ironically, you probably want to be cheering for Florida in some weird long-range way. Even though, again, I don't think it's likely.
Oh, my brain. I got there. Kentucky.
Alabama's got Kentucky?
Yeah.
Okay, no, I mean, wait, no, sorry. No, in that situation, that's good for us. That's good.
Yeah.
It's good for LSU because that's going to be a lower
Yeah, I mean,
winning
Florida
percentage.
has 5 wins, Mizzou 6. So, yeah, you're sitting pretty good right
You're
now.
sitting pretty good. Your two Eastern opponents look like they have the best chance
you
to
don't
finish combined
understand
over
how
500.
much I would love Ole Miss getting to play Vanderbilt, coming back to bite them in the ass one time before we get rid of divisions.
True.
You know what I mean? Like, you've played Florida every single year. Just some years recently doesn't mean as much, but look, for the most part of this, like, it's meant a lot because Florida's been damn good, and you've had Vandy. I would love for that to come back and bite them.
I mean, that would just be Shakespearean almost in its narrative, tragedy and irony. That would be fantastic. So we'll see. But obviously there's a lot that has to happen before then, and mainly it's all 2 weeks from now. What are you going to do when you go to T-Town? And it's crazy, Jake, because I can already feel my blood starting to pump where just like last season, I almost can't allow myself to go there in terms of thinking about what if you actually win, because it would be so glorious. Would it not? Can you imagine starting the Brian Kelly era 2-0 against Alabama, winning 3 of the last 5, winning the West 2 years in a row? That you want to talk about a statement? That would be as strong. And also, if you're Brian Kelly, like okay, look, we can touch on this recruiting picture that I just sent you there, Taylor, and you can get upset about recruiting, or you can get upset about the slow starts from Kelly. You can get upset about a lot of stuff, but if you beat Alabama, that is your get-out-of-jail-free card. Everybody loves you. This chart that you're looking at right here, Jake, these are the 32 5-stars according to On3, and where they're committed, there's 2 that are uncommitted, offensive tackle Jordan Seaton and wide receiver Ryan Wingo. But as you see, not an LSU logo in sight. A lot of Georgia, imagine that. A lot of Ohio State, imagine that. A lot of Texas, imagine that. A couple Tennessees in there. A little too much Florida for my liking. But you're someone who, a couple Clemson still holding on as well. But you're someone who doesn't put too much in star rankings. What does it do for you to see this chart?
I think you have to go evaluate players that fit you and who you are and what you want to do. And now, I'm not saying that those players on that list that LSU doesn't want, but I am a full believer in going and getting the players that you want to get and players that you think can fit your system. Like when you take a look at, like, Malik Neighbors, 3-star guy, right? I mean, Mason Taylor, 3-star guy.
Out of Mississippi, right, Malik?
No, he's from Como.
Oh, okay.
I do like you.
I thought he was from Mississippi.
He's committed to Mississippi State. That's probably what you're thinking
That's
of.
What it
Yes.
was. Yeah. Okay. Never mind.
So Mason Taylor, 3-star guy. I mean, we could go on and on just on this year's team. I'm pretty sure Logan Diggs, maybe he got a 4th star, but I mean, these aren't like 5-star guys, and they're primetime players. So do you want to get a couple of those guys? Without question. It'd be dumb for me to say anything other than that, but still is about what players fit your system. I know Logan Diggs didn't, but he committed to Brian Kelly, signed with Brian Kelly. So, like, that's something he evaluated. Yeah. I'm just saying, like, you have players that you evaluate and you go out there and you sign for a reason. So just because a player doesn't have 5 stars next to his name, in fact, the best players in LSU history, for a large portion of it, they've been 3-star players. Like, it's about evaluating players that you feel like fit what you do. And also, something that gets lost in college football when you stargaze is developing players.
Mm-hmm.
You have to develop players, and you got to get a couple of those guys. I'm not naive to that point. You want to have 2 LSU logos maybe up there on that graphic, maybe even just one, whatever it might be. But it's not the, hey, we're doomed because we don't, like, how many 5-star players haven't worked out?
Well, remember, we did go, we could pull the numbers back up, but there's that athletic study that was done during the summer that basically showed you that LSU is Iowa. Like, LSU is the worst at the country at developing 5 stars and getting the most out of their 5 stars, but they're like, I think, second or third or maybe even best in the country at turning 3-star guys into NFL guys and getting the most out of 4 stars. So it's not, for maybe in the context of who LSU's been, it's not as bad as it would be for some other schools. The only thing that concerns me about this, Jake, is it maybe feels a little bit like this is where the economics of current college football are starting to be felt, right? Because we all know Georgia's got the war chest. It's one of the reasons why Tennessee, I think, can be good again, because they have enough money invested in that program where, like, geographically their disadvantages don't mean as much anymore. Ohio State, certainly, we all know about that. Ohio State's talking about paying kids just to come on visits nowadays. We know about the Florida Collective. I guess Clemson isn't too far down. Well, no, I mean, I don't know. It's just, I guess, I don't know if it's my insecurity or a legitimate take, but it feels like this is where the maybe lack of economy in Louisiana is going to lead you in terms of getting the top guys. I mean, every one of these guys, Jake, how much money do you think they're going to make, like, as soon as they step on campus? I mean, hundreds of thousands, right?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
LSU's got the one tight end from Zachary, and I think his NIL evaluation right now is like $169,000.
A tight end from Zachary?
Yeah, he's the highest rated recruit in this upcoming class that's committed to him.
Damn, bro.
They got Central on Friday, unfortunately.
I mean, you go back to the 2020 LSU class, and it's like you had 3 5-stars. 2 of them didn't finish their career at LSU.
That happens more and more often nowadays.
Yeah, it does, without question. You go to 21. Your highest rated recruits were Mason Smith, Sage Ryan, Chris Hilton, Derek Davis, and then Garrett Nussmeier. So, I mean, we could go in, under all of those players. Like, Armani Goodwin was higher rated than Brian Thomas Jr. You got to go down a long way to find some of the other players that are making an impact. Like, half these players, like Malik Neighbors right now, he was under Landon Jackson, who's played well for Arkansas.
He actually has played well for He's like top near the SC lead for Tiffles.
All right, he was under Deion Smith, another receiver, Demarius McGee, Corey Kiner, Bryce Langston, Savion Jones. So, I mean, like, Malik Neighbors was way down there. So, it's not the only metric. It's certainly a metric. It's something to pay attention to. But I am a much bigger believer in recruiting and getting good players. Like, you have to still go out there and compete for these players. But how do they help you? Are we just getting a player to get a player? Like, if we have 7 running backs right now that are really good players, but there's a 5-star running back, how many resources do you put into that player, knowing you have 7 that are going to be sophomores or younger? Or you have such a need at corner that there's 3 4-star guys that you could put those 1 5-star running back resources into.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good
because
point.
like, you have to now in the NIL, like, you have to say, hey, do we really want to go all in, back up the truck for this guy, even though we're really, really good at that position? Or we're so thin at this position, like, we got to think about resources.
Yeah,
so like,
spread it out amongst a few guys.
Yes, it's a different game now, and so you got to be smart. You got to kind of, you really got to dive into some of the analytics of recruiting, even more so than you have before.
It kind of feels like exactly what the new NCAA should be doing as one of their mini games in Dynasty mode, right? Committing, like, you have these amount of NIL resources. I'm sure you could have some way of maybe creating more, maybe winning, maybe like some sort of like investment drives or something. But then, yeah, you're limited in how and who you're going to allocate those resources to.
And I'll say this, and we've got great friends that work in the recruiting services. Like, without question, I think they're really good at their job, but it is based off an opinion.
Well, scouting talent evaluations.
Unless you're Michigan, then you go record. But I'll give Verge Osbury credit for this. So when Malik Neighbors was getting, I guess, not recruited by LSU as heavy, he's like, look, I've got sons that play in high school football, and I've seen Malik Neighbors in 707s and playing. He's like, I know where they have him in the recruiting services, but LSU had like 3 other receivers that were signed with him that were hired. He goes, he's the best player in state. Like, he's the best player in state. So like some of that is like going, watching, actually seeing him against other guys that are getting recruited. How does he compete? You know, what level of play does he raise his level of play when he plays against better players, or does it go down a little bit? So there's so many different factors that kind of play into it.
Jesse McCormick, are the internet talent scouts just really poor at rating? Well, no. I mean, look at NFL drafts, right?
Yeah.
Like the hit rate's what, like 60%? Maybe actually the elite hit rate's like 55, 60%. It's just hard to do. And if you look, a lot of the 5-stars end up going to the NFL. Like a lot of the 5-stars do end up being the best players. No, they're not bad at rating. It's just that it's like predicting the weather or batting in baseball. It's just one of those jobs where being right is just very hard to do, right? And so even if you're
I've told you the Seahawks, if you were a 5-star recruit in high school, it's actually a negative mark against you in the draft process because John Snyder says that you came in entitled.
Yeah.
And it's a knock against you. Not saying they won't draft you, but it's something that they actually give you like a negative check mark because they feel like you've kind of been given a lot of different things throughout your path.
When we get back, let's dive in to some OTB mailbag. Keep it locked right here on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Noel Family Distillery. You want tasty, local, exquisite spirits. You want to toast with the best. You want Noel Family Distillery. They're out of Donisville, Louisiana. The distillery is very cool. If you're ever in Deville, you want to go check it out. But what I want to encourage you more so is just to try it, okay? And whether your local grocery store, your local bar, chances are they already have Noel. So if you want vodka, pickle vodka, rum-aged tequila barrels, you want that Blanco tequila, which I love, or the Reposado, which I know a ton of people love as well. And the Reposado is very good. I just like Blanco more. But the point is, you want Noel. Stop buying from Austin. Stop buying from all these other places. Buy from the boot. Put it to the test. Ask for Noel today.
I mean, how could you possibly want to buy something else and not the one that is right there in Tiger Stadium, official partner, right, of LSU Athletics, NoelDistillery.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford is taking $10,000 off MSRP on select new 23 Ford F-150 trucks. And all new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile warranty. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust Poll of the Day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the Poll of the Day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
The world's leaders in obesity research, obesity medicine, and obesity science are right here.
We're doing something that no one's ever done or trying to answer a question that no one's ever asked before.
Pennington is a real jewel when it comes to research.
We are finding the solutions to the world's worst chronic disease, which is obesity. Louisiana needs Pennington Biomedical.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
There it is, the extra mile. On the border of expected and extraordinary. For those willing to go further. Like vans customized for work or play. With safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never.
Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sean Salisbury joins us. We'll talk some quarterback play. Lee Feinswag talking beer. We'll look forward to seeing you Tuesday 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB Tuesday. 8:15 would be this time for a little OTB Mailbag.
Special delivery! I have this special delivery for off the bench. And look, it is marked most urgent.
We'll be writing to you.
The internet. What the is the internet?
Mac Lindsay has to go to be Mailbag. Has Dennis Allen lost the locker room?
Okay, so it doesn't look great when you have players that are answering different tweets and kind of pointing out what it was, and you see the body language on the side. Like Derek Carr's yelling at everybody.
Yeah,
and like you got to stay composed. Like it's like Jay Cutler level bad right now at times for the body language. And so body language is usually a bad indicator, certainly from your quarterback. I don't know. I don't. It doesn't look great. I'll say that.
It's yeah. I mean, no. Look, it's definitely. It's not crazy to say yes. You know, we can't say for sure. I do think he has some members of the defense that still respect and like him. And 2 games ago, Mike Thomas was still on the coach's side. But it's tough because Dennis Allen has nothing. He has no skins on the wall to fall back on.
I guess that's my point. Like, how much did he actually have the locker room to begin with? Like, he didn't earn that benefit of the doubt because, like, a Belichick struggling.
Yeah,
he's not a Bill Belichick. He's not any of these other coaches that had a lot of success. He's always been this guy. Like, how much did he actually have the locker room to begin with?
Yeah, I guess that's true. I mean, the offseason can do wondrous things in terms of everybody buying in and believing, and he's a bit more player-friendly, so they probably thought they liked that at first. But, again, when you feel like you're just making rudimentary mistakes and it's all kind of disastrous, and you look at your head coach and his record is what his record is, yeah, I think it's real easy to probably start kind of rolling your eyes or checking out a little bit.
It's definitely on the precipice of him losing the locker room, I think. And you can tell Kamara, Michael Thomas both have been a lot more vocal. They're kind of saying the right things and at least trying to show that leadership, which I appreciate, but doesn't look good for Dennis Allen.
Emil asks, oh, sorry, go ahead, Jake.
No, sorry. I'm looking at win percentages of head coach in NFL history. We'll get there later.
Tight.
Mm-hmm.
Emil McClellan, I mean, for all the making fun of Josh McDaniels I do, we essentially did the same thing. Is Sam Pittman in danger of joining Chad Morris and Gene Chizik in the 0-8 SEC club? Does Arkansas need to pull the plug? Where does a middle-of-the-road SEC school like Arkansas go from here? They are absolutely in danger. After the loss last week, a game in which I thought for sure they would have won, now all of a sudden Florida in the swamp feels like a loss. At home against Auburn's probably your most winnable game in the SEC left. And then you got Mizzou at home. That doesn't look great right now. So, yeah, unfortunately, Arkansas seems to be trending for that dreaded 0-8 potentially.
Yeah, you throw the Hail Mary trying to fire your offensive coordinator and see if seeing if that can work and that if that can help out. I'm not sure that.
Well, you had to fire after that performance.
Yeah, but you know what it is. Like that happens first, and then usually Pittman goes next. I had them dead last in the SEC West coming out of media days, and the writing was kind of on the wall. Like when you look at what they didn't have and then what others had in the SEC West. Now, I didn't think they'd be this bad, but I'm not like Sam Pittman hasn't done a great job, but it ain't surely his fault.
Well, you know what
by
it is
itself.
too, though. They did it's the true CEO model, which works, but we saw with though as well, unless you miss on your coordinator hires.
Yeah.
And it's the same issue with scouting that we just talked about. It's hard to know who's going to work out and who's not. And if you hire the wrong people, it kills you. And that's what happened here with Enos. It's what happened with O, with guys like Pelini and company, and bouncing OCs around constantly. So CEO model's not bad, but again, you better hire well, or have somebody that's loyal to you that's going to stick around. Taylor Powell, #OTB Mailbag. Why are there so many ads for companies in Ireland on the Spotify uploads? I don't know. That's very funny, though. Daniel Basham, #OTB Mailbag. Favorite non-candy treat to get during trick-or-treat? Anything salty.
Pretzels.
Chips. Kettle cooked. Pretzels.
Some people give a little bag of pretzels now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Any of that, dude.
Flavor blasted goldfish.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
Goldfish is good. A lot of people give out like the popcorn
I love
packs
that.
or whatever.
I love that Mario went like specific flavor.
Mario
blast.
strikes me as someone that probably likes the flavor blasted pizza goldfish. Is this true or not?
I haven't tried it, but I would.
Yeah,
Oh,
I gotta
What about-
stop you there. I didn't know there was pizza goldfish. That sounds
What?
good.
This has been around for
Yeah, but
well
forever.
over a decade.
Yeah.
And they're
What about
awful to me.
what about
but people
Pringles
like them.
flavor? You going like original OG
Oh,
Pringles?
I like
OG
cheese
Pringles
Pringles.
are incredible.
Yeah.
I like cheese Pringles.
No, I mean, gee, they're not bad, but OG Pringles
Barbecue's
are just,
good, but OG, yeah,
it's
give me the red
unbelievable
tube.
how good they are, dude.
Yeah.
Once you pop, the fun does indeed not stop.
Madhouse kind of looks like the Pringles guy.
Which is actually the opposite of most life, where once you pop, the fun immediately stops and your head clears and you're like, oh man, am I happy with the decision I just made? I don't know now. Oof, it's a rough place to be.
#OTB Mailbag. I've got one.
Yeah.
Did you know that Dennis Allen has the 9th worst head coaching win percentage of all time?
Oh,
I do now.
Of all time.
9th?
Not current coaches. The 9th worst winning percentage in NFL coaching history.
Could have had Super Bowl champion Doug Peterson. And we hired a man with the 9th worst. Oh my God, dude.
Looking at it in 60 games,
But
he
the
is
Raiders
now
were bad.
He is now 18-42, a
Raiders
300 win percentage.
Yeesh.
Tight.
9th worst all time.
#OTB Mailbag.
The only current coach anywhere in sight, by the way.
Fun fact, shout out Ralph Malbrough, who tweeted this. Dennis Allen through 24 games is 10-14, same exact record as Mike Ditka when he was Saints coach.
Remember those days.
Avo says that at a Halloween birthday party this weekend, they had bowls of candy. I picked out all the Almond Joys for myself. That's how you do it right there, Bo. People, if you are an Almond Joy enjoyer, Halloween is the best because the vast majority of people want nothing to do with them, and so I just catch all that runoff.
Yeah. It's like when I go to Chick-fil-A, I like what we call the butt fries, the ones with the potato on the back.
Your kids don't like that?
Actually, 2 of mine do, and so of our split, half do, half don't. So all the ones that do, we get them passed to us.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
They don't like them like that, like to the point where they won't eat them.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. My family does, the extended family as well. #OTB Mailbag. Did you know that not only is Dennis Allen number 9 all time, he's actually way ahead of number 31, Josh McDaniels, the only other current coach on this list.
So Josh McDaniels
he's
is
worse than Josh.
He's significantly worse than Josh. 9 versus 31.
Nice.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find.
Man, do I feel stupid.
Yeah.
I'm just going to doubt every move that the Saints make from
Cliff
now on.
Kingsbury, 60.
Which is weird because, like, he had good winning percentages for the first half of a lot of those seasons, only to brutally collapse at the end. Hashtag OGB mailbag.
Adam Gase is 38th.
Wow. Oh, my God, dude.
I'll stop.
No, give me like 8, 10, and 11 so I can see who Dennis Allen is like comparable to. Are Colorado and SC both examples of how difficult it can be to flip a roster in a short period of time? Both seem to have big deficiencies that echo previous regimes. Certainly Colorado. I'm not going to extend that excuse to SC, though. They should be better in year number 2 with the resources, with the portal. The fact that they actually did get better talent-wise. They are better personnel-wise in the front 7. It just hasn't translated better defense. And again, the common denominator in all of this, going back to Oklahoma, remains Alex Grinch and remains Lincoln Riley just not being serious culturally about defense. Oh, by the way, Jake, guess who skipped their media availability this week, feeling under the weather?
Oh, my God. I saw that. Mario.
No, he already skipped his media availability. Now he skipped his coach's show last night.
Well, he didn't skip the media availability Saturday. He had the player skip.
Oh, yeah.
And then, but yes, no, he skipped his coach's show saying he was feeling under the weather.
Second
Hey,
time.
look, I get it. I mean, it is the cold and flu season.
Look, in all seriousness, as someone who is currently experiencing some sort of viral thing,
I mean, look, we all got the sniffles in this room, okay?
But
no, Lincoln Riley's soft. He didn't skip because of that. Let's be honest.
No, I mean the timing. You know.
Yeah, it's bad.
Hashtag OGB mailbag. What's your favorite greasy food? I mean, it's not even close. It's got to be burgers.
Greasy cheeseburger, yeah.
I love burgers.
Cheese fries.
Small sliders just constantly tempts me.
The grease from the cheese complements the grease from the fries.
as well.
I mean, some some burgers are better than others, but like it is somewhat hard to just completely mess up a cheeseburger.
No,
you know what I mean?
I don't even think you need the somewhat qualifier. I think it's hard to mess up a cheeseburger. Like even like cheap concession stand burgers can be fire with just like ketchup and mayo on that thing or whatever you like on it. Like, no, burgers are awesome. The best things in the world. God,
Much better answer than pizza.
Yeah, pizza's good too, though.
It's good, but you can get some bad pizza.
See, I think pizza's another one that's like really. I think pizza's actually harder to screw up than burgers. I think the road to
kind of agree because like there's bad.
I would say a name, but like we never want to, close the door.
I don't want to crap on. I don't mind giving business free props, but I don't want to.
Yeah,
but you still enjoy the bad pizza. Like you still.
Yeah, I agree.
Still enjoy
I agree.
It.
Like you go get those cheap reheated personal pans at like a football game or something, and those things kind of slap.
Yeah.
Should I have eaten the cheese off of the Georgia Dome floor in high school? No, but I did.
That's not even remotely close to the worst thing that you've eaten that I've heard you talk about.
That's probably true.
I mean, it's the cheese balls in your cargo shorts.
Oh God, those are so good though. Oh my God. Also, just like. Actually, that's probably, even though it doesn't happen, my favorite thing to get out that would be non-candy would be cheese balls. Like the little the cheese puff balls.
Oh, like the big barrel, basically.
Yes, the big barrel. Oh my God, dude.
Memphis
if I have a
loves those
barrel
too.
around me, I cannot control myself. It is I have a sickness. And the worst part is I always dive in there, get my hands all cheesy. I wash my hands 2 seconds later because I think I'm done. And then not 5 minutes later, I'm back in the barrel. Mitchell Knapp says, "Oh, Andy Dalton apology. Just do what I do and never apologize." Hashtag OTB mailbag. What's the difference between filming the sideline and the all-22?
So, okay, that's a great question.
We're going to talk about this.
And I know we're going to talk about it, but just, okay, so if you have the all-22, well, it doesn't have, like, the coaches on the sideline. Like, it's framed into, sideline and end zone copy. When you're filming the signals, well, what do? You match that up to the all-22. So if I'm filming your signals and I see you signal in a certain coverage or a certain route concept, well, I'm just going to match whatever your sequence of signals was to what the play is. And then you're coming back to the play again. Okay, is it the same signal? What was the indicator? Was it the third touch of the brim of the cap? Was it whatever it might have been? And I'm going to get your signals. And so I'm going to know exactly what you're doing. Now, if you can figure those out in real time in that game, it's completely different than going into the game knowing that, hey, when they go from their kneecap to their shoulder as far as how many times they touch it with their right hand. And I know you're running cover 3 when you do that. That's where you have an issue. And so that's the difference. I know before the game is played exactly what you're doing based off your signals.
Yeah, and we'll get to it next about Michigan. Hashtag go tweet mailbag. Is Gail Benson too loyal, or does she have the balls to fire Allen or even Mickey Loomis if needed? Definitely on the Allen front. Again, I don't think Mickey Loomis is going to get touched, but that's whatever. Hashtag go tweet mailbag. Should the Saints trade pieces for cap space and draft picks? I think the problem is with how a lot of how they've created these contracts where they're offsetting costs for the future. Trading would not actually save you that much cap space.
Yeah.
And then somebody else asked me, okay, you got all these NFL teams trying to improve at the trade deadline. What should the Saints do? And again, I just don't know that there's nothing, or excuse me, I don't know that there's anything that I can really see them doing that would fix this. Because do you want to move a Chris Olave? No. Are you going to give up Alvin Kamara for like a 3rd round pick?
Right.
That's probably what you get right now. I don't think I would, even though, again, Alvin probably deserves a chance to go shine somewhere else and not be wasted behind this bad offensive line, bad quarterback play, and bad Pete Carmichael. But, yeah, I don't see like a great panacea for the Saints' problems in the trade front.
The old remedy.
Exactly. Look at that. Look at that.
Ooh,
Cheez-Its is another good answer.
Yeah, Cheez-Its are great. If you did it, it would have to be full on blow it up. They're not in a position where like
they're
couple of moves.
They're not going to punt yet because Dennis Allen will know that means he's fired. You know what I'm saying? Like a new head coach is on the hot seat is never going to punt in the middle of the season because Allen knows if he gets hot and they make the playoffs, he's probably going to get another chance at this thing. Or not probably, he would.
He would, yeah.
Hashtag go tweet mailbag. Are you disappointed this is the last LSU Bama game that Gary Danielson will call? Yes. I love Gary Danielson. I think he's great. I know most of y'all hate him, but I think he's great. And he has been a consistent part of my college football Saturdays for years. So, yeah, it does make me a bit sad. It's not going to hit the same when he's calling Rutgers, Iowa at 2:30. Shout out Rutgers.
Speaking of game times, and Taylor, this picture's in the document. I don't know if you can pull it up. So Florida is wearing their all-black uniforms against Arkansas.
Yeah, I saw that.
So they've done it before, and it is a blackout game. Now, typically when you have a blackout game, well, it's at night, and there's a lot of energy that comes with wearing the black uniforms, and that's why you call it a blackout. Do you think when Florida planned this uniform, they intended for it to be a noon kickoff against Arkansas?
I mean, if I trust anybody to get blackout by noon, it's probably Florida man. So I mean, maybe, but no, it does not. Something tells me the blackout game is not going to hit the same under the harsh 11 a.m. sun. If you're talking about living here, like it's going to be 11 a.m. when these dudes are out there in all black and everybody in the stadium's wearing all black. May actually be hot. I mean, who knows? It may be like, oh man. I wish we weren't. Also, I don't think that looks very good personally, and I like black uniforms.
I don't. If you don't have any black,
I mean, those colors just are incongruous as a mug with those things. All right, when we get back, let's talk about Michigan as the scandal gets deeper here on OTB.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bob.
All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge. I'll say it one more time, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. You can go to the website and go check out the great deals, the selection they have. Remember, if you need to sell or trade in your car, there's never been a better time than now. Get some of that, just get great value, which you can turn around and you can buy a new vehicle from All-Star Toyota, Toyota certified used vehicle with warranty coverage, or you can lease. I did the lease option. And then I'm going to be getting a new minivan, but I had to wait a little bit. And, my lease was up. It was so easy. I called Toyota Financial Service in 5 minutes. I was able to extend my lease. It's just the best. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. Go check them out today.
And you can do what T-Bob just mentioned as far as leasing because everything's available. Certainly you can buy new, right? Duh. But you can also rent a Toyota. Per-day rental prices, and everything's available in that process as well. So no matter what you need, they got you covered. Just go ahead and reserve that vehicle today. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
The importance of doing this Fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the Fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a Fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644.
Join us for the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch. We are at Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. Andy Isco will join us from Las Vegas. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Program director says there's so much pass interference in Retro Bowl. I disagree. Retro Bowl College, very fun. Very, very fun, if you ask me. After a rough season one, we're off to a rip-roaring start here in season 2. Just needed to get a couple recruits up through those doors. Okay, so speaking of college football, the Michigan scandal gets deeper. As we talked about Connor Stallions last week, in case you missed it, this is a former Marine
who has been an analyst for Michigan, and it's very funny. His LinkedIn profile is all about scouting the enemy and finding centers of gravity to exploit and different things along those lines. And then it was revealed that Connor Stallions, over the past 3 years, bought tickets for more than 30 games at 11 Big Ten schools. He did this all on his own credit card. So, a way of covering tracks. I got to imagine there was some cash exchange at some point, but he did this on his own credit card. The tickets were consistently high up in the stands at the 50-yard line, and at least one school says they have surveillance footage of someone taping the sidelines from one of the seats that Stallions purchased. Now, you may ask, well, did Jim Harbaugh know? Did he not? I don't even think it matters, as under NCAA's head coach responsibility rules, a head coach can be held accountable whether they knew or not. Jake, in your mind, how egregious is this violation? Like, is this a big deal or is this nothing?
If you recorded and they can prove that you were recording different
signals.
signals.
Like they can.
Right, and you can, I guess it's going to be very difficult to prove that they used them, but I don't know. A lot of information's coming out. Like, by the day, we're finding out more and more, and Pete Thamel and ESPN and others all over this story. But if you're recording and they know you're recording and they know that you're giving that information, then it's huge, I think. I mean, think about it. Think about what the Patriots got in trouble for.
Yeah.
And how that ended up, okay? So if you were just scouting, if you were just sending him to games to scout, honestly, I got no issue with that, because is it against the NCAA bylaw? Yeah, it is.
It's kind of crazy that is. I mean, I understand why.
Yeah, but like I said the other day or last week, whenever this broke, any high school in America that plays on Thursday and their opponent the next week does not, where are they at on Friday night? They're at that game, and they're wearing their school polo, sitting in the stands scouting openly because they're there to watch the other team. So that happens across America all the time. So I have no issue really with that, and I don't think that would be a big deal. But when you start talking about recording signals, and then like we talked about in Mailbag, you match those up with what's going on the field, that's a completely different conversation. And then that's when a lot of people probably need to be a little nervous about their job.
And remember, this all comes at a time when Jim Harbaugh is already on the NCAA's radar. He of course got in a bit of a tiff with him with them through the offseason as some recruiting violations for COVID and whatnot. Harbaugh kind of refused to accept it. And Charlie Baker, the new NCAA president, has shown to be a bit petty. Look at the language between UNC and the NCAA, and how kind of, even though the NCAA, I don't know why they weren't allowing Tez Walker to play. We still don't know what caused them to finally let them. They were kind of admonishing UNC for, not behaving the correct way. And so, like, they already have a bit of animus to want to go after Jim Harbaugh as well. So we'll see these things play out. I do know this, Jake. I don't think it's going to affect anything this year. This is a situation that's going to play out long over time, but who knows where it ends up, if it ends up being the thing that potentially causes Harbaugh's downfall, which is very funny. Harbaugh needs to take a page out of Bill Self's book. And if you win the Natty, you become too big to fail, right? Like, the NCAA does not want to take away a modern era Michigan national championship. So go ahead and win the Natty, and maybe you inoculate yourself against an NCAA attack.
Yeah, one of the things you're right, but one of the things I saw in this article that was kind of alarm going off for me, it says Stallions purchased tickets on both sides of the stadium across from each bench for Ohio State's game with Penn State on Saturday. Michigan plays both teams in upcoming weeks, as we know, and the tickets were purchased by Stallions were not used on Saturday after this came out, right? So you're buying them across from each bench, different sides of the stadium. It also says none of the tickets that the 11 schools told ESPN about involved Michigan as an opponent. So it's like it's only Michigan's opponents. It's not, Michigan being in there.
How about this? Jim Harbaugh, this is from the college football subreddit. Jim Harbaugh went 2-4 in 2020. They kept a 47-22 run over 6 years. The allegations of signal stealing began in 2021. Since that moment, Michigan's 33-3, and the conference record went from 34-16 to 22-1. correlation does not always equal causation, but in this case, that feels a little damning. We need to go to break. When we get back, more OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Bart's marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Board's marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
The best kept secret in town is out. Discover Tallulah at the Renaissance Hotel on Bluebonnet.
O'Reilly Auto Parts' new Brake Best Select Pro brand raises the bar for the best aftermarket domestic brake pads and rotors available. For vehicle-specific friction formulations, Quiet-Tech noise-canceling shims, and stainless steel hardware, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Professional-grade brakes from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
This Sunday, we bring you a trio of NFL games. We start with the noon kickoff, the Rams at Cowboys. Immediately following that, it's the Bengals and 49ers. And then our night game, the Bears and Chargers. Tune in to catch all those games here on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's happening, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Quick segment here. Emil McClellan says Hester go to be Mailbag. Pitt took down Louisville.
in the top 15. Virginia takes down UNC, who's in the top 10. Jake, what do these two games have in common?
You tell me.
They both took place on the CW. Is the CW the Grim Reaper of the ACC? And is this all somehow Joshua Jackson's fault?
No, because it's Pacey's Creek. So let's blame James Vanderbeek.
That's not actually factual. And
he kind of got Joey in the end.
Yeah, but it's still Dawson's. So I don't know who is. So I guess it would actually be Vanderbeek's fault then.
Yeah.
CW. So if you're a top, so does Florida State have any CW games on the schedule? That's what we need to figure out, because they need to be worried if they do.
Like if you would have let 13-year-old Jacob Hester know that one day there'd be ACC football in the CW.
I mean, was he even called the CW at the time? Was it WB?
It went, I think
the
around that time
with the top hat and everything.
It was WB and UPN merged?
UPN, yeah.
And
I remember that.
CW.
What is UPN?
UPN.
It was UPN and WB. They merged, became the CW.
Yeah, I ain't never heard of UPN.
UPN used to air SmackDown at one point.
I've never heard of UPN in my entire life. That's crazy.
Not only does Florida State have a CW game. No, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one. It looked like it was going to be this weekend at Wake Forest, but it's not anymore.
Ooh, that feels like a classic CW trap right there.
CW this week is Clemson, NC State at 2 p.m.
Ooh, might get worse for Clemson this year. Which Clemson feels pretty dead in the water at this point, especially after last week.
Did you hear Dabo's post game? No energy. Basically, you could feel about to blame everybody else but himself.
Yeah. I mean, they've been very out there that Cade Klubnik was supposed to hand that ball off, and they've been blaming him that
we got to get that audio.
He just went rogue and just took it. We'll get it for hour 3. We got Nick Underhill kicking off hour 3. We'll be back next.
Off the bench with Hester and T-Bone.
He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
It was a humid day. Barefoot children play, looking for that summer shade. Time just slips away. Oh, Louisiana, some kind of hold on me. Like cypress stumps, your roots are planted deep inside of me.
At Relief Windows, we're more than windows. We're windows, doors, hardy plank, and vinyl siding. But our #1 product is always customer satisfaction. Visit us online at reliefwindows.com. Oh, by the way, we do shutters too.
Bayou Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating Ram Power Days with $15,000 off MSRP on new 23 1500 trucks, $15,000 off, and a 1 million mile warranty. Plus, we'll pay your trade-off regardless of what you owe. The crew at Bayou Automotive is going to do right by you.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is #1, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. I think we're rocking and rolling.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the need.
Good morning, everybody. It is 9 a.m. on Tuesday, October 24th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect cloudy skies with a high of 89. Coming up on OTBOT, Nick Underhill of New Orleans Football joins the show to talk Saints. You can follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at OTB_ESPN, or catch us on YouTube at the 1045 ESPN channel and subscribe for daily content. OTBOT, live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studio, starts now.
Let we go! All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. I like this. Gulf South. It says T-Bob short segment. Says we get a good long segment, so it's all good. Yeah. Thanks, man. Hell yeah. I agree. I apologize sometimes how the end of the hour goes, but, we like to go long, like right here with our guy, Nick Underhill, at Nick_Underhill on Twitter. New Orleans Football is the site. Banger after banger. Been kind of a banner year for New Orleans Football. Not only did they force the Saints offense to start using motion more, they also, what was it? Well, the most recent thing is Nick got Mike Thomas to respond to a tweet in public, basically confirming that Derek Carr isn't going through his reads at all and that Chris Olave was probably getting undue blame for a play from last Thursday. There's one more that I'm missing, boys. What was the other one, Mario?
Trevor Penning.
Yeah, maybe point out that Penning sucked at run blocking and they were running constantly the other way, so now Penning got benched, which getting benched for run blocking is as damning of a thing that I can imagine for O-lineman's potential. Like, run blocking's easy. You should be able to do that no matter what. Either way, New Orleans Football kind of controlling and influencing the Saints from afar. And the man behind it all is Nick Underhill. Nick, what's up, dude?
None of that's true. But
I mean, kind of.
I'll let you lie for me and build the brand, but
no,
fine.
But it's also not true. I mean, correlation may not always equal causation, but what about when you point out that the Saints are using motion less than any team in the league? I think it was something around like 1%, and then the next game that's up to 36%. I'm just saying it's a little funny like that. What's not so funny is the article you released breaking down all the third downs, and it just seems like it is an LSU defense against Ole Miss level disaster right now, Nick. A lot of it is around Derek Carr. A lot of it also seems to fall at the feet of Pete Carmichael. How do you assign the pie of blame here?
It's both, like you said. I don't know that you can kind of just point to one and not the other. I think it's a little bit of both guys. I think some of the design of the offenses we've been saying week after week after week it has been, just not beneficial to gaining yards, I guess is the way I put it. It's just the same stuff over and over. It doesn't make sense. And there's a handful of plays where it's like four guys over the middle within a 10-yard area, just kind of like stacked in a straight line at the time of the throw. And it's just, all you need is kind of one guy standing there to cover everybody, and you can just start jumping routes because they're just all kind of stacked. And then you got like an isolation route on the outside, and it's like, oh, well, we'll go double this and let everything in the middle take care of itself. And there you go. Like, there's your defense. It's just, it doesn't make a lot of sense. I think some of the stuff with Derek Carr has been pretty bad too. I thought the JT O'Sullivan video on YouTube kind of breaking down his performance.
I still haven't watched that, dude. I heard it was fantastic. I got to get into that. Also, he's got quite the channel going there. JT does.
Yeah, it's brutal. I mean, it's just kind of like a brutal assessment. And I don't agree with everything he said, but there's a lot of stuff that's just empirically true. Like, they're running, verts, and you're taking a 5-step drop, and he's just checking down before he's even looking down the field on certain plays. And then when you wonder why the receivers aren't running their routes at full speed, it's kind of like, well, are they being trained to do this kind of with the way the quarterback's playing? And look, that's not an excuse for the receivers. You got to go all out every single play, no matter what. But it's just kind of like, when everything's kind of a mess, I think it's a little bit scapegoatish to kind of just point out and blame one player for everything. And, I kind of feel like that's what was happening with Chris Olave. And I think it was a little bit, I don't want to say unfair because he deserves the criticism, but other people deserve criticism too. And I think the way it was kind of like handled and spoken about could have been done a little bit better. And that was a third down play too, where Carr just messed up the read. And I think what happened that he was supposed to go to Taysom, and I think Olave didn't run it out. And I don't know, this is just my opinion. I'm not reporting anything here. Just kind of looking at it, I feel like he got pissed off and launched the ball and just kind of gave up on the play. It was trying to make a point. I think it was kind of a heat of the moment thing. He just launches the ball down the field and then starts screaming at Chris, and that's kind of how it goes. And I don't think the optics of that are great either.
Nick, what's the most surprising thing that has not gone right for the Saints this year of all the things that we talk about? Because this was a team that had high expectations, certainly in this room. We see the talent that they have. What's the most surprising thing to you that has not worked out in their favor yet?
I think it's just kind of Carr not being average yet. I think it's just kind of all the issues in the passing game. It almost seems, when I sit here and like think about it, it almost seems impossible to me that we're having these conversations right now, and it's this kind of bad. Like, these are the things that you thought you'd be discussing with like Andy Dalton coming in, and it wasn't necessarily that. It was just kind of like a lack of talent in some stuff. There were some reads and stuff that got messed up, but it wasn't quite like this. And it's just the inability to get on the same page with the receivers and the quarterback and all that. It's kind of been shocking to me. And it's a little bit hard to understand that they aren't just like okay at quarterback, because they got a top 5 defense right now. If you told me they had a top 5 defense, I would think that they'd be cruising and they'd have like the South pretty much sewn up by now. They should have like that kind of lead. It should be theirs to lose, and it's just they aren't doing that, and it's just kind of mind-boggling because he was supposed to be the guy they brought in and he was supposed to help make Pete Carmichael better, and they were supposed to be able to send him out there and he could direct the offense a little bit and make these checks and get him into the stuff that worked and kind of take a little bit of command of the offense, which is what they like to have with Breeze. And it's just it's been the polar opposite of that, to the point where after 7 games, Dennis Allen's talking yesterday about how they have to change how the quarterbacks and the wide receivers meet. And it's just like, this is what you got to do at this point of the season. Like, he was supposed to be like the settling presence for this whole thing. And it's just it's been the opposite. And again, I think it's too simplistic to blame Carr. I've heard some stuff about some of the receivers just kind of, not being able to pick some of the stuff up in that. And I think that's part of the issue too. So it's a two-way street here, but this isn't what it was supposed to be. He was supposed to be the guy that kind of brought this all together, and it just hasn't happened.
Champ in the chat is kind of asking, or not, he's saying told you so. I'm asking to go full rumor here. Do you think a couple of weeks ago when Alvin Kamara and others were alluding to a lack of preparation that they were talking about Derek Carr?
No, I don't think so. No, I mean, Alvin even specifically said he started naming numbers of guys that prepared him for was one of them. So okay. I don't think it's a lack of preparation there. I think Alvin was talking to, some of the guys on offense. I think there's probably, I don't think it was just limited to players either. I think it was just kind of everybody in the organization, whoever kind of that message hit. I think it kind of went to him a little bit. And, 2 weeks later, Alvin's kind of just talking about game planning and stuff too. So I think it's just I just think it's general frustration with the organization top to bottom when he made those comments.
And you're married, Nick. I mean, you're married to Derek Carr, knowing what his contract is, knowing kind of what you have behind him. I mean, this isn't something that's going away. So what do you do?
I didn't know where that was going at first when you said you're married and stuff. I had no idea.
He is married. I mean, technically, yeah.
No, they are. There's none you can really. You kind of got to make it work out. So, like last week when T-Bob's like, "Is it time to start Jameson?" I'm like, "Nah." Like it's just because they can't. Like they can't do. You can't go to that move yet. I don't think. I think it would be a complete disaster. You got to figure this out. You got to find a way to make it work. And as stupid as I feel saying this, like I still think that there is. Like I still think that the stuff we believed before could at some point come to fruition and things settle in. And I've been talking to people and they said like Carr's first year in a system kind of like always goes like this, where it's just like really tough to get it going and then things settle down at some point and you get it going. Hopefully that's the case here, but like, man, they're about out of time.
Oh,
at this
I was about to say that rings pretty hollow right now, Nick. Just wait another year for Derek Carr.
Yeah, it's about to be November, and you're trying to figure out how to make your quarterback fit. It's kind of impossible at this point. But yeah, if this doesn't work, they're kind of screwed a little bit. Like I don't know what you do. I mean, I guess you got to hope that it's bad enough that you can draft a quarterback that can make a difference. I mean, that's really the only way out of it at that point, because you kind of got to pay them, and it has to work. I mean, there just really isn't a plan B at this point.
I mean, imagine drafting a first-round quarterback. One day the Saints will do it again. I think 50 years is a long enough time. Like I think probably after 50 years we can go ahead and justify another first-round QB.
I mean,
and that's wild. I mean, it doesn't even sound real.
Nick, what about so depressing fact of the day here on Off the Bench was Jake finding out that Dennis Allen. What is it, Jake?
9th worst winning percentage in NFL history as far as head coaches.
9th worst in NFL history. I sit here and I clown Josh McDaniels almost daily. Where's McDaniels on that list?
31.
31.
Adam Gase is 38th.
Adam Gase is 38th. The Saints could have had Doug Peterson, a Super Bowl. What drugs did we all take to convince ourselves that this was a smart move? It feels insane now.
It does, but look, don't make me say this in public, man. like at the time, no, I mean just like at the time, like I don't want to like defend anyone, but like or the thought process. But at the time when they hired him, like I thought it made sense. Like you had a guy.
I did too. To be fair, I did as well. But
you had a top tier coordinator. He was getting interviews with other teams. It felt like he had turned things around. If he had learned his lessons from the first stint, like it felt like that was the right position to be in. And I still think there's a world like if he gets a good offensive coordinator, this all works. Like I think he's that good of a defensive coach. I think he just needs someone that can run the offense. And you look at Sean's tenure, like Sean, when he didn't have the right defensive coordinator, it was a disaster too. Like he couldn't run the defense. He had bad ideas on defense. He tried to change things that made their defense objectively worse.
Yes.
He kind of needed Dennis Allen to get his tenure back on track after 16. And they turned it around because he had good coaches around him. I just don't think that they've been able to get a good coach on offense. I think it can still work, but I mean, look, DA has to exonerate himself from this. And sitting here now looking at it, it's like, yeah, could they have made a different decision? And I think the answer, it's impossible to defend anything that's going on right now. It's 2 years of disappointment. I mean, the one thing I would say is that they are sitting at 3-4. Like it does feel like 1-6 right now, but it is 3-4. Like it's not completely lost. Yeah. They aren't going the right direction though. So it feels much, much worse, but they got to figure it out quickly. And yeah, I mean, you look, Doug Peterson, he was someone that maybe should have been a more serious candidate, but I can't sit here and say that I think the thought process to hire DA was crazy, because like I legitimately truly thought at the time, like, yeah, like this is the right idea. And every time you got an interview going somewhere, it was like, damn, like if they lose this guy, it would be so bad for the franchise. And if you're kind of thinking about someone that way, I don't know, like it makes sense to me to give him a shot, because if you do let him out the building and he did learn those lessons and he becomes a great coach, then they're idiots and you're talking about him like he's Dan Campbell. Plus, because he actually coaches the side of the ball too. And then you're just an idiot for not seeing it. So it's kind of like you saw the potential. You kind of got to find out And you can always fire someone and hire someone else and fix a mistake. But if you let them leave, you can't fix that mistake.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, it's again where I agree with you. Like at the time, and I agreed with you at the time, there were a lot of good sounding reasons, but I'll be damned if it doesn't just feel like we were wrong.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
no doubt, no doubt about it.
Just flat out wrong, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah,
I mean, that
right.
happens. You try to make these calls. You're trying to look into the future, and you can logic your way into a lot of things. But I feel like I tried to logic myself into thinking that this skunk don't stink, but it smells pretty bad from where I sit right now. Like you said, though, it's 3-4. It's the NFL. You're only a little bit of a heater away from getting it fixed. So maybe let's inject a bit of sunshine, even though you may be hesitant to want to do so. What reasons are there for maybe hoping that the offense can get this figured out?
I don't think there are any, man. Yeah, I don't.
I mean, is Trevor Penning done? Does Trevor Penning ever even play? Like what? It's just crazy.
I think they're going to try to find a way to get him in there. But to answer the question before, I don't know. Like right now, it's kind of like if you start talking about things they could do on offense, it's like you're the guy that goes out and golfs 90 and like, man, it could have been a 78. Like, no, dude, you shot 90. Like, you got to believe that you shot 90 and you got to do the things to fix it. So that's kind of where they're at. And that's the thing. Like after this last game, like the story I wrote is that them kind of coming back is probably the worst thing that could have happened to them because it allows them to sit in place and kind of think like, we're a missed field goal and a drop pass away from being 5-2. And it's like, you aren't. Like, you look at it the other way and you're that close to having one win, no wins. Like, that's just kind of how the NFL is. But unfortunately, like, we've heard that thought process too many times out of that building. We're like, man, we were so close to this and that. And it's like, yeah, like you had the double doink in London last year, but like, what does that really change? So I think they got to show us, like, there is no reason to believe in anything. There's no reason to have hope. There's no reason to think that like anyone's going to turn anything around until they actually do. It's been 2 years of this, and kind of the benefit of doubt, I think, is long gone.
Yeah, it should be
at this point. So, yeah, I have no reasons for sunshine. Like my forecast is clouds and rain right now until something else shows up.
I mean, so they've toyed with a couple of different ideas on the offensive line, then actually gone out there and done like Andrews Pete playing tackle or whatever the situation might have been. Like, can Trevor Penning kick down and play guard? Like, I mean, he's a first-round pick. I mean, we've seen him at times, be a little bit of a mauler. Now, it's certainly not been consistent. I mean, can they do anything with him to get him on the field? I mean, you have a first-round pick that's sitting there watching guys play out of position.
I think that's probably something that ends up happening, over the offseason next year or something. Man, if he ends up a guard, though, like that's kind of like an abject disaster at that point. Like you traded that pick.
It's Robert Gallery from the Raiders back in the day.
Well, and
when
you
they took him out of Iowa.
Again.
And you got rid of Teron Armstead. I mean, you try and you've never recovered from that.
Yeah, and it's just you made a trade for a guard like that. That's just such a horrible result. Like I don't want to. I kind of hope they don't fold on it this quick. Like I think you kind of got to go through an offseason to see where it is, and then at that point, if that's where you're at and that's what you got to do, fine. Like okay, but man, that would just be such a complete disaster. And I don't know if he has the skill set to do it either. Like he just I don't know. I don't really see anything there right now that says he should be on the field. The last time we saw him, he was coming off the bench. He came in and gave up like 10 pressures. I mean, that's a tough situation to come in off the sideline after you've been benched. Your head might not be in it. You're a young guy. Like, I get it. But I don't know, man. If he has to move there, that's such a bad outcome. They already had it happen with Pete once, like twice, drafting a tackle that can't play tackle. That's kind of like a damning position to be in.
It is. Yes, I agree with everything you said, but it's also, would you rather a first-round pick play guard or a first-round pick watch?
Yeah. Yeah, no,
yeah, I agree.
Get something
so
out
it's
of it.
like your pride takes a hit. It sucks, and we know NFL GMs are the most prideful people maybe in sports, but like just sitting there and watching Andrews Pete get run by time and time again.
I mean, so speaking of personnel decisions, though, Nick, is it crazy to kind of be upset with the kicking decisions? I mean, Groupie and Headley just don't seem to be doing well.
Headley right now is averaging 4.05 seconds of hang time per punt. The next guy above him, that's the lowest in the league, lowest number in the league. Next guy above him is at 4.3 seconds. I mean, it's just
God, that's an
it's
eternity.
A drastic. Yeah, you aren't even in the same vicinity. And then you keep scrolling up the list, and there's Thomas Morstead sitting at 4.65 seconds, having one of the best seasons of his career. And it's just like, you knew he was injured. Maybe you shouldn't have rushed him out of the building that quickly. Wow. And look, hang time isn't everything, but like even his average is bottom 3 in the league. I think his net is bottom 10 in the league, and they've been covering these punts like fantastically. That's the only reason they're getting away with this right now. But you hit a 39-yarder with the game on the line. I at least, and I'm shocked. Like the easiest thing they could have done to show like action this weekend, maybe they still do it. There's a couple days they're off today. Maybe they can do it tomorrow when they're back at work. Would have been like to bring in punters and kickers to at least just visually tell some story of like, okay, we aren't sitting still. Like we're doing something. Maybe you don't want to fire somebody on the coaching staff. Fine. Maybe you don't want to make a major change, but like the punter seems to be like the easiest way to just, you don't even have to cut them. Just have these tryouts, like do something. Like I'm shocked by it. And yeah, look, I understand the thought process on Groupie. Those guys look neck and neck throughout the whole entire camp. I get that decision, but at the same time, like he's looking shaky. He hits the upright on an extra point, and and kicker's such a week-to-week thing. There's variances. Letts has already missed, he missed his first week there. But just to see him hit 4+1 from 52 to win the game while your guys kind of, struggling a little bit, just, I don't know, the juxtaposition of that is just kind of tough to look at right now. So definitely possible they got them both wrong. I understand the kicker one. The punter one, though, like the thing we kept saying the whole time is like they don't have a punter. Like they got 2 guys here, but they need to look for somebody else somewhere else. And they just haven't done that. Like they haven't even tried anyone out, and it's shocking to me.
And I don't know why. I mean, NFL kicker and punter is like the old MTV show Next. Like you don't do it, you just yell next at them, and they go off the bus, and you bring somebody else in. Like
at least Headley's gonna get some
like
cash.
that. Like that's what it is. Like I remember like every Monday we had really good ones with the Chargers, like 2 Pro Bowl guys. But every Monday they were out there, kickers and punters, trying out.
And it's like the same 6 or 7 guys too.
Yeah.
Like it kind of feels like they roll up in the next bus and they just walk off one at a time. It's like, but every time you look at the transaction sheet, like it's just like there's the block of the kickers, there's the block of the punters. They're all in the same place. Like they probably all see each other in the same town, and they just don't come to New Orleans. It's not part of the tour. Like the tour skips over here. It goes from like Miami to Houston. Like they haven't stopped here in like 2 years. And yeah, that used to be a thing with Sean. Like Sean would try him out all the time. Someone would hit an upright, miss a kick. The kickers were in here just to send the message, hey, like next one, you're out of here. And I think that pressure is good in situations like that. I know both these guys are young or whatever, but like that's not an excuse. Well, they're both rookies. Headley isn't young, but that's not an excuse. Like they gotta perform. And a 39-yard punt in crunch time seems like a reason to audition other people.
Yeah, I just it doesn't help that Groupie looks like he's 12 either. That's just kind of eternally working against him. It's like
there's
Zach
something
Wilson's
about his face. Yeah.
Also, eventually we're gonna have the Loomis conversation, but we've already kept you very long, Nick, so we're not gonna do that today. Thank you so much. New Orleans Love Football's on the site. You can catch me hanging out over there every single Thursday with him and Brooke, Tripp, the whole team. They do a great job. Go check it out, New Orleans Love Football. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah, have a good one, guys.
All right, when we get back, more Off the Bench.
OTB, OT.
Go to All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge. All-Star Toyota Baton Rouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com is the website.
And then you should go to centralplumbing.org.
Yes, do that.
Huh?
Yeah, you go to centralplumbing.org for all your plumbing needs. It doesn't have to be in an emergency, T-Bob. It can be for an upgrade at your home or business. Your home, maybe you have 1 bathroom that wants to be remodeled, needs to be remodeled, right? But if you own a business and you have 5 or 6 because you have an entire floor downtown, guess what, T? They can handle that because they're ready to go.
Central Plumbing, 925-8552, 925-8552. You need somebody who is going to get out there with flat rate pricing. Everybody's licensed, bond insured. They've seen all over 50 years, 5 decades, y'all, of solving your plumbing issues. I don't care if it's a bathroom, shower, sink, whatever. Go to centralplumbing.org. Pick up the phone, 24/7 emergency service, centralplumbing.org.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com or call 985-206-9096. Learn the game to love the game.
Scooncha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
Running Boards Marketing can help you get their attention. Imagine your brand's message on a giant LED billboard truck that can't be skipped and is nearly impossible to ignore. Running Boards Marketing is the leader in effective and affordable advertising on digital mobile billboards, which are 2 times more effective than traditional billboards. With a 97% recall rate, you'll leave a lasting impression with your customers.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644.
Join me for a Tuesday edition of the Hunt Palmer Show. Sharif Ishak on the Saints, Glenn West on the Tigers. Hunt Palmer Show, 1 to 3 weekdays, 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
It's the MIBs. Here come the MIBs. Here come the men in black. They won't let you remember. The good guys dress in black. Remember that, just in case we ever face to face and make contact. The title held by me, MIB, means what you think you saw, you did not see.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Wow, right before we came back into break, I just saw a tweet from Antonio Brown. It says F child support. And it's like a very jovial looking comic book drawing of him running away from a woman who has cash pouring out of her purse and is stealing cash from his hand. That's so aggressive. Sorry, bro. If you knock somebody up, I don't know what to tell you. You got to take care of the kid, you know?
A lot of talk about tattoos in the chat as well. Letting y'all know, a little reminder here that T-Bob's thigh is still open for business.
For henna tattoos, not for permanent tattoos.
I didn't say permanent. I just said tattoo.
But yes, for
now permanent, we're
short-term
talking
advertising.
like 6 figures, right? I mean, you get a tattoo for 6 figures. Permanent.
Oh, is that Gordon McKernan's music?
Thigh is open for sale for 6 figures. I've already got enough tattoos. What's one more?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. Yeah, if you're watching online, there's the picture. What an aggressively cheery picture for such an aggressively kind of bad message. You know what I'm
I like
saying?
is like
Who
the
did he
random
commission
guy
to draw
in the
this?
background just watching, mouth open in shock.
Yeah, because he's horrified by it because he hates how men are mistreated in the child support battle. I don't. This is just crazy. This is crazy. I like this post from Instagram or from my Janico. You just popped in the new Blink-182 CD. Okay, you just popped the new Blink-182 CD in your mom's car as she takes you to get the new Mario and Spider-Man games. You grab a pizza on the way home, and your friends are coming to sleep over. Life is good. The year is 2023, and you are 34 years old. Because actually, all of that can be going on right now. There is a new Blink-182 CD. Mario just dropped a new game, Mario Wonder, and that new Spider-Man just came out, which is supposed to be pretty incredible. Whenever in the world I finish Baldur's Gate 3 in like 6 or 7 months, I'll probably go check it out. Like, the only part of that isn't true for a lot of my friends is just the mom's car part. And maybe the friends coming to sleep over. But everything else, yeah.
Actually, y'all have slumber parties a lot.
I do have slumber parties a lot. Me and my friends. That is true. That is true. That's kind of odd as you get older. But me and my friends do sleep over at each other's house quite a bit still.
Yeah.
But that's also like partially because you move, right? But I don't know. I do love a good slumber party, still to this day.
I am fascinated that you still find time between the 76 shows you do a day to play, and you're a very, very involved dad. I can't tell you the amount of pictures I get daily of T-Bob waiting in car line, looking like he's passed out in his car.
I
waiting.
was passed out yesterday.
I got one, mouth wide open.
It's always this constant battle of like, I have to fall asleep, but if I fall asleep, nobody wakes you up, and I don't know exactly what time the line starts to move again. So it's like, yesterday I woke up, and I'm surprised nobody honked because the line was way ahead of me, and I was just sitting there asleep, just out.
Probably when I got. So 76 shows, very involved dad. A lot of other things going on.
No, I mean, that's what sucks. I don't really play video games anymore. I play like 30 minutes a day. I try to sneak it in when I get done with Rivals before I leave for carpool. Like, I'll get in 20, 30 minutes of Baldur's Gate. So it's funny. I've been playing the game for like 3 or 4 months now, and I'm still in Act 1 of the game, and I don't know.
I don't know what that means, but it feels
I'll probably
very
play
beginning.
I mean, it's a game that, granted, it's a big old boy. It's probably got well over 100 hours of gameplay, if not more, if you wanted to. And I'm enjoying it so much that I'm just kind of doing whatever, doing everything. So I don't know, but no, unfortunately, in this, in my post-Jesus year, my video games are at an all-time low. And it's like, now if I want to watch a movie, like, I just got to be willing to like stay up till like midnight and just screw up all my sleep, which I almost did for 13 Ghosts last night, Taylor. But being that I'm not feeling 100, I made a little responsible choice and chose to go to bed early. Took a little Tylenol PM and tried to get to sleep early, which just means that I'm very groggy today.
Oh, Chris Isaac looks great up there in Friends.
Now my nipples hurt because I got hives in my nipples. Oh, it is Chris Isaac.
Yeah. And I can confirm that T-Bob does
Is that
have,
Chris Isaac?
Yeah. Wicked game.
Yeah, that's a great
God, look at you. So proud of you.
Well, my mom loved that song. Which
you probably love Chris Isaac.
That's
too.
what I was about to say.
Yeah.
No surprise there. I think I remember the video. It was like him on a beach, black and white, with a woman.
Yeah, it was on Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah. I think it was one of the first things I downloaded off of Napster, maybe, or somebody did in my house, because I remember seeing the video on old Macintosh.
Great song.
Back in the day.
Yeah. Oh, Macintosh. I hadn't heard that in a long time. Wow. Y'all know? I mean, y'all remember that Macintosh? Y'all remember?
I don't.
Yeah, it's for Apple.
It's just Mac. That's what Apple. Wait, y'all know that? Y'all know that Apple was Macintosh?
No,
You
I knew that. I knew Mac was short for Macintosh.
Wasn't
but,
that the nerdy guy's name of the commercial, like Macintosh and the other guy's PC?
Oh yeah. What were those commercials? I forgot about those. Yeah, I don't really remember them, but yes, you're onto something there.
Shout out to Scott. I'm having a slumber party with my best friend this weekend. Super excited.
Hell yeah. It's going to be so much fun, dude.
Champ, I rode with my mom for pizza yesterday.
There you go.
Shout out, Champ.
See, the more things change, they stay the same.
Ask T-Bob if you could request a sleepover with one of your friend's wives, who would it be? Don't answer that. Don't answer that. Don't answer that.
Maybe, I mean, maybe I'd just hit up Will. I could see that potentially working.
He answered it.
Yeah, for sure. Or Matt, yeah. Which again, the amount of people that have come to me that are like upset with
Final straw
for making this
yesterday.
jokes.
Remember,
it's just so crazy.
Final straw.
There are a couple of people. Like I'm trying to bang your wife. I mean, I don't know, but hey, we all have our line.
Yeah, I mean, the funny part about it is like you've been with your wife since you were like 16.
Yeah, I know.
So like it's all just like words.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes, exactly. I've literally slept with one person my entire life. It's like the height of absurdity. But, you know, I'm going to get these jokes off, man, no matter what. Even though I was texting my friends from high school yesterday, I was like, yeah, it's surprising, man. Like, I said F the troops and nobody cared. I said I was going to have sex with my friend's wife, and suddenly everybody's turning. I'm like, I don't understand it. It's so wild what happens here. Hey, yeah, there's a break.
Yeah, Champ said you can have a sleepover with his wife. She's been getting on his nerves lately.
Hell yeah. There you go. I can't wait for, speaking of which, come on. I mean, the Alabama one. Again, I hope that we're happy. Oh, my God, I hope that LSU wins that game. If LSU wins that game, the entire year's made. I mean, that's what this game means. As much as you can try to fight against it or math your way around it or the same logic gymnastics that we did to get to liking Dennis Allen over Doug Peterson, you convince yourself that you'll still be happy if LSU doesn't win. But what you can't convince yourself is that winning wouldn't make the entire season. Like, it would just be so awesome, dude. But we'll see. We got a lot of build up to them. We don't want to get too high too early.
For every reason that is obvious, but also you go on the road, you beat Alabama, top 10 team, and then you finish with a masterful home slate.
Yeah,
of having Florida and A&M visit your building.
Death Valley be fired.
Oh my God!
Dude.
For Florida, if you beat Bama, it would still probably be good regardless.
Jaden would rocket to the top of the Heisman standings.
Yeah. I mean, he's third right now. He'd be number one.
Oh, my God. It's all right there. Okay. It's only Tuesday, boys. We got
bye week,
We got like 12 days or something left until then. I can't go there yet, but I'll be damned if my blood's not already boiling a little bit in my heart. I can feel it pumping. I can feel it. It's almost time to start listening to Les Mis again. All right, when we get back, more Off the Bench.
OTB, OT.
ITI Technical College, iticollege.edu. ITIcollege.edu. For 50 years, ITI has been helping Louisianians, right? I always want to throw an extra syllable.
Let's just go Louisianimals.
It's probably because I wasn't educated well enough because I didn't go to ITI. I didn't get that AOS degree in 2 years, and now I don't have a super successful and stable career that could promise to return me more of my investment that I paid for school than anything else in Louisiana. But if that sounds ideal to you, right, getting that career, that stability, that future, let ITI be your guide. It's not just helping you get that degree, but it's helping you post-degree, right, doing mock interviews, internships, jobs. It's all there at ITI Technical College, local, family-owned, right off Airline Highway.
It's an incredible website. It truly is. It is set up for your success, but we always encourage you, go out, go see them over on Airline Highway. You'll be blown away by the campus. It's one of the things that, it sets them apart from others. iticollege.edu, iticollege.edu.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge. Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, live at lunch, Hunt Palmer. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
When is a taco more than just a taco? When it's Government Taco. Voted best tacos 3 years in a row by 225 Magazine, Government Taco puts the most delicious spin on tacos the capital area has ever seen. With creative combinations like the Magna Carrot, the Filibuster, or the Steak of the Union. Plus perfect tortilla chips paired with the best salsa and queso you've ever had. And happy hour every day from 3 to 6 p.m. and all day on Thursday. Government Taco, 5621 Government Street.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs. Even in the case of an after-hours emergency, the light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
The Windsor Senior Living Community in Mandeville, Louisiana is a beautiful, vibrant apartment community geared towards seniors. They are nestled right in the heart of Mandeville, where seniors live a more carefree lifestyle in spacious apartments with the peace of mind that comes from having a little extra help. Call the Windsor at 985-624-8040 to schedule a lunch and tour. Come see how the Windsor can be your passport to peace of mind.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
His name was Cain. He had a horse along the country.
Matt Moscona inviting you to join us for Tuesday's AFR, powered by Sunshine, your hometown John Deere dealer in Louisiana. Sean Salisbury joins us. We'll talk some quarterback play. Lee Feinswag talking beer. We'll look forward to seeing you Tuesday 3 to 6, 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Congratulations to Kyle Mack. Kyle is our Week 8 winner in the 2023 Twin Peaks College Football Pick'em Contest. He wins a Twin Peaks gift card. Don't forget to make your picks for Week 9 by noon this Thursday. Play the Twin Peaks College Football Pick'em today at 1045ESPN.com.
OTB, OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Turn up a little more. Shouldn't sound like that if you're also that good looking.
Yeah, chill out, Chris.
Leave some for the rest of us. I wonder what Chris Isaac looks like that.
He was also Chris Isaac in That Thing You Do. He was the guy that recorded That Thing You Do in the church for the first time. Shout out.
Wait, what?
He still looks great. Jesus. All right, Chris.
No, we're not talking about Jesus. Screwed up my joke. I was going to do an Isaac Bible thing.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, I felt it.
Drop the ball.
Yeah.
Mario, penultimate Pelicans Day. How are we feeling, bruh?
Oh, feeling pretty excited. I mean, besides Alvarado being out, the team is pretty healthy for now. First game of the season, like I told y'all the other day, don't want to overreact too much of the first half of the season either way, because 2 years ago started horrible, ended good. Last year was the inverse. But for now, everybody's undefeated, and it's good vibes.
What is going on with this Friends episode today, Jake? We've seen Chris Isaac, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and now Julia Roberts is randomly showing up.
Oh, no.
Is this just like the star-studded cameo episode? Wow. Anyway.
Jean-Claude. Great to see Jean-Claude.
So certainly the Alvarado news is disappointing. But as you very correctly pointed out, Pelicans fans can sit there and throw their hands up and say, oh, classic Pelicans, we suck at this. We're so unlucky. But the Grizzlies don't have John Morant or Steven Adams.
Yes.
You should win this game.
Yeah.
Full stop.
You would think. We'll see when the line
If
comes
you
out.
use your backup point guard, a player that we all love and respect, but your backup point guard as an excuse when the other team is missing one of the top 20 players in the NBA,
True.
then we're off to a bad start.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And remember the
I
first.
can tell, though, you don't want to apply that pressure to them, Mario, because you
He
think
does not.
you think people are going to get upset if they screw it up and lose.
I mean, again, it's 1 out of 82 games, but last year they came out really hot out the gate. They played the Nets with Simmons and KD, and they did really well. So hopefully it's more of that.
Who did the Grizzlies just re-sign? That's to be or what's his name?
Jaren Jackson Jr.
Yeah, Jaren Jackson
Yeah,
Jr.
first team all defense.
Just that giant, massive athlete who will probably put up a dominant stat line last night in the absence, or tomorrow night in the absence of those other two guys. I hope it. Look, I'm going to be wearing all Pels gear tomorrow. Your boy's fired up. I can't wait to watch the game. But
Just continue.
I just don't. I'm just.
You want to say it?
I'm just nervous. I just don't. You know what I mainly don't want to see? If you lose a game, that is what it is. I don't want to see any of this lackadaisical, farting around, lollygagging BS that you were seeing in the preseason.
There you go.
Like if I have to listen to the head coach after the game talk about a lack of energy or effort for the 6th or 7th year in a row, I'm gonna rip my hair out. Like, it's the first game of the season. If nothing else, the energy should be off the charts. I think it is. I think Zion Williamson revenge season officially begins tomorrow, and I think he dominates and makes a statement to everybody that, okay, this is it. This is the year.
I hope so. We're going to, hit reset. Let's don't judge the preseason.
Yeah.
Let's get mad maybe 10 games down the road.
Preseason doesn't matter. Preseason's dumb anyway, dude. Nobody gives a damn about preseason. It's stupid.
I mean, they let teams that aren't even in the NBA play in the preseason.
Yeah, that's true. The Pelicans had like the 32nd point differential behind 2 non-NBA teams. But like you said, this is the regular season. I'm going to be optimistic until bad things happen, bad things are not happening.
That's actually pretty funny. That's actually
in Zion,
that's
we
actually
trust.
a laugh so you don't cry.
In Zion, we trust, okay? Like Bob Marley, the Wailers, other members of the Old Testament, in Zion, we trust. Oh, and the people from the Matrix, the human beings. Let's go, Big Z.
I'm not just excited to watch Zion. Brandon Ingram was a beast the last 12 games, averaged 29 points and 8.4 assists. Pelicans went 9-3 in those games, by the way. And Herb Jones, I think, is primed to have a really good season. Like, we know what he can do defensively, but he shot 41% from 3 in March and then 50% in April. If he could stretch the floor like that, Herb Jones can be a really, really good player.
Yeah, for sure. And it's not just Zion, but he is by far the most interesting because Brandon Ingram's good when he's on, and we've seen what he can mean, but we've also seen what Zion on what that means, and it's potential top of the West. So, like, that is mainly what I'm looking at.
You put those things together, maximize it, see how far this team could go.
One would hope. And we'll see. Tomorrow night, baby, the Bad News Birds are back. Flock up, boys. Let's ride. Coming up next, closing out.
Good
Hour
team.
3 of, wait a second. I should talk about Accutemp Baton Rouge first. AccutempBR.com, AccutempBR.com. For your AC, heat, and electrical needs, you want to check out Accutemp. Get that service to the highest degree. On top of being a very good pun, it is also what they do, okay? The customer service is unparalleled, y'all. If you've used Accutemp, then you actually know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, you don't. I could instruct you to go look at the online reviews, and that would tell the story. But honestly, you're not. I don't have the and you know, I'm someone who I believe that I have a pretty I'm pretty loquacious, right?
Loquacious.
But I lack the vocabulary and skill to accurately represent just how good the customer service is from Accutemp. It will blow you away. AccutempBR.com, AccutempBR.com. All right, when we get back, close on the show. Ask me.
OTB, OT.
K2Z window coverings, K2ZBlinds.com, KTOZBlinds.com. Window coverings that wow, whether it's interior, exterior, whatever. You're taking a man cave to the next level. Like maybe you're like just killing. You got like a theater room or something. That'd be awesome. You got an outdoor living space that maybe you need protection from bugs. Maybe you need protection from the heat and the sun. The point is, Brandon Barton's been at this thing for 25 years, okay? And so he comes into your home. He has the compass out. He's looking at the different times of day, where the sun is coming in, what style you're looking for, and then he is putting together a plan for you. It's unlike anyone else in the game. Check him out. KTZ window coverings, KTOZBlinds.com.
Yeah, it's not just for looks. I mean, it's for looks and function. And that's why he comes in and tells you exactly what you need, because there's so many different options, interior, exterior, different things they can do for you. I mean, exterior, I just assumed it was a black shade. No, there's multiple colors to match to your home. That's what you get from K to Z, K2ZBlinds.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
His name was King. He had a horse along the countryside. I saw him ride. One day they found him.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Scoocha, fall in the air. Fall is right around the corner, which means fall fishing is, which means it's time for you to take your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service in a bunch of different ways. You want a custom stair job, you can have a ton of fun out there on the water. They can do that. What about a spot lock trolling motor? So you stay right where you need to in casting lines. Or sonar that's let you see the fish under the water before you cast. All of your maintenance needs as well. For 38 years, they've been at it and will continue to do so. The Sherman family of front-to-back boat service.
The importance of doing this fortified program and offering it to people down here is, number one, the only real chance you're going to get to do this is when you put on a new roof or build new. And through companies like HUDCO, who's kind of leading the way in this thing, it's going to offer the customers a huge advantage in the insurance market and the price of their insurance.
You know, we're not looking to make a fortune off fortifying. We're trying to give you a better product than our competitor at the moment. I'm trying to do something that he can. I'm trying to give you something better. So a lot of these insurance jobs, you're getting a re-roof, you're only paying your deductible. Let's sit down and talk about the fortified and let's see what it does to your insurance premium. You're getting a steal.
Yeah.
You're getting a brand new roof and a fortified certificate for your deductible, essentially. And I think we're rocking and rolling.
Electricity is all around us, and our families depend on it. Every day is sparked by the power of a cold drink or a warm meal, a movie night, and a comforting light at the end of a dark hallway. From sunrise to sunset, playtime to bedtime, our team is ready to take care of your electrical needs, even in the case of an after-hours emergency. The light in your life shines brighter with Mr. Electric.
Dylan Cruz here to tell you about Six Rings Baseball and Softball Camp. If you live on the North Shore and play ball, go to Six Rings Camps with former LSU assistant coach Dan Canaveri. His knowledge is second to none, and your child will improve and have fun doing it. Camps were held at Coquille Park and Six Rings Academy in Covington with 4 sessions over the summer. Full day and morning only sessions are available from ages 7 to 13. Go to sixringsbaseball.com.
Join us for the Tuesday edition of Live at Lunch. We are at Mike Anderson Seafood, Wesley at Nicholson. Andy Isco will join us from Las Vegas. Live at Lunch, 11 a.m. weekdays on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB, OT, with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Yo, what's happening, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, Ask the Bench, brought to you by Cold Curse Light, Vizzy Art Seltzer, and Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet. Ask the Bench, since college football is changing at such a fast pace, you think we'll see earpieces and QB helmets in the NFL soon? Yeah, this is something that's become a hot topic after the Michigan stuff, because why are we still even having to sign stuff in? Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, especially in the Power 5.
Yeah, why? I mean, it's not like it's expensive. Like it's basically a walkie-talkie. Like, get some green dots, quarterback, middle linebacker, safety, whoever you want, and that way you don't have to have 97 big giant postcards with emojis on them. You don't have to have 7 different colored shirts for different coaches, so you know which one's live. Because of the 7 different colors, then like the blue guy's live this game, the green guy's live next game, and
Look
that's
at
what
you
do.
though, dude. What, you just want to? I mean, you thought I hated troops. Jake's out here trying to take jobs away from military vets. What, you don't want stallions to have a job anymore? You don't want to be able to go out there and scout other teams and film them illegally? What's wrong with you, dude? This former Marine, show some respect.
Then you can scout because it won't matter.
Well, no, then you just got to go into, then you got to start recruiting military hackers.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. That's when you start going into the comms guys.
Yeah.
It cannot be that hard to intercept a simple radio signal.
Can't be.
Cannot be.
Easy.
Ask the Bench, right about Cold Curse Life, Vizzy Art Seltzer, Blue Moon Light Sky Citrus Sweet. For $1 million, would you eat fried goat's blood? Yeah, sounds awesome.
For $1 million?
Everything I've ever had with
Yes.
blood is actually delicious. Blood stew, blood pudding, blood sausage, all of it's freaking good. Especially
For
if you
$1
slaughter the
million?
animal the right way. Yeah. I mean, I eat it for free, honestly, just to try it.
Yeah, but if you're offering $1 million, like, let's negotiate a little bit better.
Yeah, it's true.
I mean,
Hashtag spook the bench. What's one horror movie you refuse to watch? There's none for me.
I told y'all the other day, anything that invites anything evil up into my house.
Yeah.
Ain't about that.
Hashtag spook the bench. Cold weather is approaching again. Is it? What's
Damn well should.
What's your go-to non-alcoholic drink for cold weather?
Hot chocolate.
Yeah, there you go. Hell yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's got to be actually cold, though. Not the fake fall that we just got. It's going to be actually cold for hot
At
chocolate.
Breck the other day, I mean, you're there a lot. The soccer fields.
Yeah.
They had the little cart coming by, and it said hot chocolate $3.
You talking about Sunday?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it
was hot out there
made
Sunday.
me mad.
I'm
I'm
sitting
like,
there-
take that sign off that cart.
I'm like, why are my titties
Hot
sweating?
chocolate $3.
Why are my titties sweating
That
on
back sweat.
October 22nd?
Yeah.
Coaching soccer out here. Not coaching,
I
watching
like
soccer out here.
I like a warm apple cider.
Yeah.
You do love apple cider.
But
We
where do
talked
you
about
drink it?
Outsider. Yeah,
Yeah.
because it's an outsider.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I do love that calm tea, but I guess that's not necessarily just winter. I drink it every night. It's very good.
There's like a good hot chocolate, like at a high school football game.
Oh yeah,
Always hits.
high school football chocolate. Like when you were a player and you're on the sideline.
Yeah.
You got that. Oh, it felt so good. Hey, NBA fans, the wait is over. Basketball's back tonight. DraftKings Sportsbook app, official sports betting partner in the NBA, is celebrating with a great new offer. New customers score $200 in bonus bets instantly for throwing down $5 on the NBA. Win, lose, draw, it doesn't matter. You'll start the season with an instant dub. I remember if you're a returning customer, you always got the parlays, whether it's same game or multiple games. Basketball's more fun. So use the promo code Baton Rouge. Promo code Baton Rouge. Get that $200 instantly if you bet $5 on the NBA. Crown is yours. 21 or older, physically present in Louisiana. Select parishes only. Eligibility and pod restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/basketball. Terms like see partner Golden Nugget Lake Charles. Gambling problem? Call 100-GAMBLER 100-426-2537.
Are the Bills fraudulent? I think I was right.
Every other Sunday.
OTB, OT.
And then they're like Super Bowl champs the next, and then they're fraudulent again, and they're Super Bowl champs the next.
Yeah, I kind of said that in the off season.
I mean, the Niners are fraudulent. Y'all's boy Brock Purdy sucks. These 2 picks. Come on. Awful. Derek Carr 2.0. Patient Plus Urgent Care, patientplusuc.com, where you will see the difference. I went into Patient Plus yesterday, boys. And although, the COVID and flu tests were negative, like I said, they did inform me that this has been going around. But I had an ear infection, so not a total loss. Got some medicine to try to knock that out and to help with some throat stuff. So if you're not feeling good, life's unexpected moment, you want to go to Page Plus, patient+uc.com.
And remember, they're open 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., and that's every single location. And the good part about the locations is there's one convenient for you no matter where you're at in the Baton Rouge area. So go ahead, check that out, patientplusuc.com, another place where you can schedule that appointment right there on the website, patientplusuc.com. Get in and get better.
We have truckloads of inventory rolling in at Corvell Toyota in Opelousas. And you can take advantage of 3.99% financing on select 2023 models. So come on down to Happy Town. That's Corvell Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.